1015, an Odyssey podcast.
965thefan.com for your chance to win an X-Family instant ticket, plus a shot at winning 4 Diamond Club seats to the K, all powered by the Kansas Lottery. The Drive's Pop-A-Shot Tournament is Wednesday, March 18th at DraftCade starting at 6:30. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Two immediate reactions before we get into the content of the day. Number one, Nathan, we've started an after-hours show and the sun is still out. It's the first thing I told Carrington when I walked in, like, oh, wow, you could turn the lights off and I could still see in here. Fantastic. For the first time in 6 months, I don't feel like it's bedtime when I walk into the studio.
Yeah, and like, where are all the other cars? It feels like it's 10 in the morning and the office should be full. There's nobody else here, but it's still daylight out. It's super trippy.
Yeah, super weird to be hosting after hours and I can still see the sun. That's the first reaction.
Can we still call it after hours even though it's daytime?
Technically, right? After hours isn't, I don't know if it's indicative of where the sun is at necessarily. More of an indication of, for most people, their work day is done. However, for us, it's just kind of getting started.
Technically, yes. I think after hours is the vibe more than it is the time of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we like to relax
over here.
We like to bring it down a notch. We're maybe not as serious as maybe some other people are. My second reaction before we get into our action today here on After Hours, I sometimes think that I get a lot of pushback in the text line. Like, sometimes I'm getting flat out roasted in our text line, which is 913-586-7965. I'm slowly learning that there might be one person who gets more heat through the text line than I do, and I think it's Rob. I mean, Rob gets absolutely torn to pieces in this text line on a day-to-day basis. Makes me feel a little bit better. Makes me feel like, okay, maybe, sometimes people just, they aren't going to agree with what you say. Just the way it goes sometimes.
What's great about it is, Rob's a fantastic person. Love the guy. And I also agree with most of what he says, like from team building philosophies, from a lot of his takes on like movies and food and stuff. The text line just gives him heat and lets the other guys like just skate on by. So I don't know what it is about Rob that makes the text line hate him. You're 100% right, though. I love following the Drive, especially one where the Chiefs just signed a big time running back.
Yeah,
text line's good right now.
That's just kind of that's sort of the hero that Rob is. That he's willing to say, things that maybe are unpopular, things that he truly believes in order to take some of those blows for some of the rest of us. He's pretty selfless in that manner, I have to say. But it is time for After Hours here on 96.5 The Fan. Logan Weber alongside my producer tonight, Nathan Williams, and yeah, folks, it's a pretty small news day, right? Oh, no, it's just these 3 hours have written themselves. This is one of those easy days. We call it a layup show, okay, where I could have been here at 5:55 and done this show no problem. Didn't need a script, didn't need to show prep. I did it anyway because I'm a consummate professional, but this is an easy one to discuss. And we lead off the program tonight. Kenneth Walker III is a Kansas City Chief. And, folks, those of you who have been listening to this program, okay, I've been hosting After Hours here for, over a year now at this point, kind of crazy to think about, since probably November, December of last year. I started throwing the name Kenneth Walker out there as a guy I thought would be a fantastic fit for the Kansas City Chiefs. It's not very often in this business that you are right about something. So this one feels pretty good, I have to say. I'll also be completely honest. My initial reaction when I saw Kenneth Walker signed, elated. I was absolutely thrilled. Then I saw the price tag and I was far less thrilled. But then I saw the contracts for other guys all day long, including the running back position. And I'm here at the end of the day. I said last week I would not pay Kenneth Walker more than $12 million a year. That's what I said last week. So yeah, on the surface, with a max contract of $15 million a year over the next 3 years, I was not thrilled initially. I am perfectly okay with it now. And I know that that's going to sound insane, but just look at some of the guys that got crazy contracts today. Okay. The Colts gave Alec Pierce almost $30 million a year for a guy who has never had 50 catches in a season. You want to talk about a massive deal for a guy with little to no productivity? Look at Alec Pierce. Rashid Shaheed got more money today with the same length of contract from the Seattle Seahawks than Kenneth Walker got from the Chiefs today. I mean, shoot, look at Travis Etienne. Signs with the Saints today, 4 years, $52 million. So he's making $13 million a year, right? Kenneth Walker may, if he hits all the expletives in his contract, all the other things, he'll make 15 over 3 years. So it's a difference in terms of AAV, it's a difference of $2 million for Kenneth Walker versus Travis Etienne. The Saints gave Etienne an added year onto his contract, despite the fact that he's already 2 years. He'll be 31, almost 32 when that contract expires. Kenneth Walker he'll be 28 when his contract with Kansas City is over. So you got a younger guy coming off of one of the best running back performances in a playoffs that we've seen in the last 25 years in an offense that is desperate for help in the running back room. And I understand the pushback from people. I do. $15 million potentially for a running back, right? Right now, the AAV is like 14.2, 14.3 without the incentives and escalators and those sorts of things. I understand that level of pushback. I understand the Chiefs, and this was an example Rob used last Friday. He said he didn't want the Chiefs to overcorrect, right? Like the Chiefs have been driving, I don't even want to say on the shoulder. They've been driving in the ditch at the running back position for the last 4 years. Frankly, for the last 8 years. I would argue since Kareem Hunt left this team the first time around, or was removed from the team the first time around. This running back room has been on autopilot at best. I understand those who feel like, okay, we've gone from driving in the ditch to maybe overcorrecting into oncoming traffic. Like, I get that analogy. I don't feel like that's what happened here. I don't feel like the Chiefs were at a 30 and drove it to a 100. Okay, the Chiefs were at a 0 and they put themselves at a 70. I don't think that this running back room is complete yet. But based on the way that contract negotiations came down the pike today, I mean, shoot, and we'll get to it in a bit. I wholeheartedly believe. They gave Kairos Tonga $7 million a year in AAV, $14 million guaranteed. You gave a defensive tackle. I know he's a 3 technique. He's a gap eater. He's a guy that does what he plays within his framework, right? But it's hard not to look at the numbers and see a guy who has half of a career sack and 5 TFLs in 5 seasons in the NFL and say, you're giving him $7 million a year on average? So no, I have no issue with you giving Kenneth Walker potentially $15 million a year to give this offense something that it has not had since Kareem Hunt was suspended and released from the team because of the off-the-field stuff in 2018. And do we all remember what that... I mean, I know it's been a while, but I know for my money, when the Chiefs were officially eliminated from the playoffs this past year, I just went back on YouTube and started watching old highlights of this Chiefs team. And I watched the first half of that 2018 season. I watched the whole thing. But that offense was different, man. And yeah, some of it is because you had obviously Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce at the peak of his powers, rookie McCole Hardman who really did some good things, and Sammy Watkins. But having a running back like Kareem Hunt in that season, he was spectacular. He was a top 5, top 10 back in the NFL. And that hasn't happened since. you now have a top 10 back in the National Football League in your offense. And I wholeheartedly believe that Kenneth Walker is a top 10 back in the NFL, and he'll be able to unlock something that this Chiefs team has not seen offensively in, like I said, 7-8 years now.
Yeah, I think the biggest part of all of this is the Melvin Council erasure. We go from a guy that gets barked at to a guy whose nickname is K9. So just a huge time in Kansas City sports if you're a fan of our furry friends. I would just argue, because I'm a fan of the Kenneth Walker signing, I would just say that's what free agency is overpaying a little bit. If you didn't want to do this, you should have hit on the first round running back you took. You should have hit on one of the darts you've thrown in the last couple of years. And you did get production out of Pacheco for a year or two that was way above his draft slot, but I wouldn't necessarily call that a success at this point in time. It was a hit, don't get me wrong. Isaiah Pacheco today is not a starting running back in the NFL. So, I mean, I was looking at the contracts, and he's going to slot in fourth, right behind Saquon, CMC, and Derrick Henry in terms of, annual average value. Now, Bijan and Gibbs haven't gotten their contracts, and they'll get paid in the next year or two. So Walker will quickly go down to, sixth or so on that list. I mean, I'm just thinking on top of my head. Barkley, Bijan, McCaffrey, Henry. These guys are better than Kenneth Walker.
Jonathan Taylor,
Cook, Gibbs. I think that's probably, you can't argue that he's anywhere near the top 7. But in that second tier, that includes guys like Achane, Kyron Williams, ETN. I think Walker lives in that tier. So did the Chiefs give the 10th best running back in the league the annual average value of the 6th best running back in the league? Like, maybe. I don't think it's that big of an overpay, but also, like, I'm sorry, that's like what free agency is. Like you started the show with, the Colts gave a guy who he's averaging under 800 yards a year, $30 million. It's just kind of the name of the game.
Yeah, looking at the numbers from last year, Kenneth Walker, 16th in the NFL in rushing yards, right? 1,027. One of 17 guys in the league that reached that 1,000-yard plateau. Of those 17 guys to hit 1,000 yards, only Kenneth Walker as well as DeAndre Swift did it in under 225 carries. In fact, none of the other guys did it in under 235 carries. So, I mean, you're looking at some of the guys that are just barely ahead of him. I mean, Breece Walker had 38 more rushing yards than Kenneth Walker did on 22 more carries. Rico Dowdle had almost 50 more rushing yards on the season on 15 more carries. So him having to split touches with Zach Charbonnet and still remaining incredibly effective, this is going to do a lot more than I think even the numbers over the next couple of years will suggest. Because, again, I brought this up last week. Last season, the Seattle Seahawks saw the second fewest number of light boxes in the NFL, meaning the defense had 6 or fewer guys inside the tackle box. The Kansas City Chiefs had the 32nd, dead last in the league, with the most number of light boxes. In the last 3 or 4 seasons, nobody has played this Chiefs offense in an honest fashion. They have dared football teams. They have dared this Chiefs offense to try to beat them on the ground because they know they couldn't do it. Now you have Kenneth Walker, somebody who can legitimately beat you on the ground. And before you say, well, can he really do that? I urge you to go back and maybe watch a football game that happened right around a month ago and watch Kenneth Walker do to the Patriots what I believe he can do for this Kansas City Chiefs team.
A popular sentiment on the text line right now is, I think, to one of your points, and I'm in agreement, is they should have, like, this can't complete the room. This can't be all. He's not a complete running back. And I don't think that having a bell cow was the point of this. It was having explosiveness. So to your point about the light boxes, like, I think that has done more to damage this offense than anyone. Even people like CDOT, who love running backs, think they should make $40 million a year, give it credit for. nobody thinks this Chiefs team is going to run the football. If they do, they're not worried about the running back breaking a tackle. They don't have to allocate extra guys to the box. I mean, hell, our guards might take out our running backs just as easily as like a linebacker might come downhill and tackle them. That's how bad it's been this year. The fact that there is a legitimate threat, like they could have gotten a running back that is like mediocre, average, and it still would have been worlds better than what they had last year, just because of that threat. So it's the same reason they brought back Eric Bieniemy, which is the reason that they went and got Kenneth Walker today, and it's the same reason I still want them to take another shot in the middle rounds of this year's draft to complement him. Is they need a more serious running attack to compete again. They just do.
Absolutely, without question. And I understand the thought that some people have. I got a 913 who says, are we finally going to see a running back get 17 to 20 carries a game with Mahomes at quarterback, right? Another person says they're still going to dare us to run the ball because they know Andy won't continue to run even if it's working. I don't buy into that. I buy into the fact that no, they haven't run the football. They haven't established the ground game in the last 7 or 8 seasons because they haven't had the horses for it. They haven't had a horse for it, in my opinion. The last 3 or 4 seasons, your best running backs have been a 7th-round pick who might get vet minimum from somebody this offseason, and Kareem Hunt, who's probably going to have to wait around for a midseason free agent pickup again if he ever does play in the NFL again. That's been your best option. The last time you had a running back that was a true threat in the backfield, a guy that you could look at and say, he could be in contention for 1,000 yards. He could be in contention for 1,200 yards. He could push for the NFL lead. He could be the NFL's leading rusher. He could be an all-pro candidate. The last time that happened was Kareem Hunt in that 2018 season. He played in 11 games before the unfortunate aspects happened, and he had 181 carries in those 11 games, almost exactly at 17 carries a game, and also caught 26 passes out of the backfield. So he was averaging close to 20 touches per game prior to his dismissal from the team.
Well, it also, like, teams run the ball, this is weird to say, based on my entire life of the NFL moving more and more towards passing, teams are running the ball now and more creatively and more successfully than they did in 2018. So I hear you. Andy doesn't love to run the football. The league is changing, and the Chiefs haven't had the horses. I mean, maybe late in Isaiah Pacheco's rookie year, it felt like they were – I'd have to look at the numbers in terms of carries a game. Felt like they were relying heavily on him. In the 2023 season, Rice's rookie year. Felt like they were leaning really heavily on Pacheco. I mean, Mahomes has not had an explosive, a real home run threat since Kareem Hunt. And these are like, we talk about it like it's a few years ago. These are the Bob Sutton days, folks. These are like the D Ford days. These are the LDT days. Like, this is so long ago that Patrick Mahomes played with a legitimate home run, explosive threat at running back. So I just don't understand being upset at this being, considering the edge market. I think that's also a huge need, and we'll talk about that later. But like, I don't think anyone could be upset with this being the number one thing checked off in free agency by the Chiefs.
No, this needed to happen. I feel like this and one other move, which we got confirmation on today. You know, the rumor mill was swirling over the weekend about could Travis Kelce land elsewhere. That got put to bed pretty quick. We in the local media, we Chiefs fans knew that wasn't a possibility, but, the folks out nationally, out on the East Coast or the West Coast were really trying to push that narrative. Didn't come to fruition. So let's talk about Travis Kelce returning to the Chiefs next year on a deal that, honestly, I like even less than Kenneth Walker's. We'll discuss that next. Logan Weber alongside Nathan Williams. You're listening to After Hours, 96.5, The Fan. I'm a consummate professional.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by AB May. Trust AB May to keep your home warm. For 0% interest for 72 months on select heating and cooling systems, call 913-732-9993 today. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Hey, March Matchups fans. BetMGM is offering a legendary experience for you and 3 of your friends in Vegas. Climb the BetMGM Court of Legends leaderboard for a chance to win the trip of a lifetime to Las Vegas to see Haley and Hannah Cavender face off at the Bellagio. Just sign into your BetMGM account, opt into the promotion, then start placing sports bets of at least $10 to climb the leaderboard. 25 winners will take home grand prize packages that include 4 tickets to the Court of Legends event featuring the Cavender twins, withdrawable funds for travel, a 3-night stay at the MGM Grand, and MGM Resorts credit. Make this March one to remember. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSets remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Missouri only. New and existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Withdrawable bonus dollars for flight money. Please gamble responsibly.
It's Thirsty Thursday at Hy-Vee. Time to stock up the bar and fill up your tank. Earn 50 cents per gallon fuel savings on every $50 purchase of wine, beer, hard seltzer, and spirits. Mix and match all your favorite libations and get a 50-cent fuel saver with every $50 purchase. Stack up the savings and your next fill-up could be free. Don't miss Thirsty Thursday at your Kansas City, Missouri Hy-Vee. Product promotion differs by location. Offers valid where legal, available while supplies last.
If you're like me, you're feeling the pinch of high prices right now on just about everything. And that's where my friends at Hy-Vee come in to save the day. Because they're always finding ways at Hy-Vee to save me money, like amazing fuel saver deals. Shop Hy-Vee this Saturday and Sunday and get a 30-cent per gallon fuel discount when you spend $60 on groceries. And you can stack up the savings on Hy-Vee fuel saver deals, and your next fill-up could even be free. There's nothing better than saving money, only at Hy-Vee.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
Tonight, expect a mostly clear night with a low of 58.
Weather brought to you by Duke's Mayo. Welcome to Duke's Mayo Country, where the mayo is so smooth and creamy, it makes every bite better. Duke's Mayo. Look for the yellow lid.
Hey guys, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here, and I want to invite you out to the first ever Drive Pop-A-Shot tournament on Wednesday, March 18th at Draftcade up in the Northland. All you need to do is listen into the show to qualify on Monday, March 9th, and also on Tuesday, March 10th, and you could be taking home the title of Kansas City's Pop-A-Shot champion. Rob and I are going to be broadcasting from Draftcade starting at 2 o'clock, and the tournament gets going at 6:30. The Drive's first ever Pop-A-Shot tournament, Wednesday, March 18th. Your home for Kansas City sports, right here on 96.5 The Fan.
We're going to get to the conversation around Travis Kelce and him returning to the Chiefs on a one-year deal and give you our thoughts on that in just a little bit. Logan Weber alongside Nathan Williams after hours here on 96.5 The Fan. But we led off the show talking about the Chiefs signing Kenneth Walker. 3-year deal worth up to $45 million in total. It is the largest free agent running back contract in NFL history. Now, there's a couple of guys that have signed bigger deals as of late, but like for Saquon Barkley, he makes more money per year, but his was on a second because he went and signed that 1-year deal with the Eagles and then got a major extension, right? Jonathan Taylor, his contract was an extension as well. And so for those guys, technically they weren't free agent signings. They were extensions. Therefore, they don't fall under that category. And, there are people who, and I can't say I blame them, still don't buy into the Chiefs running the football now that they even have a guy that they believe is a quality back, right? Somebody in the text line said, Andy hasn't run the ball his entire career except for 1 year with Kareem Hunt, 1 out of 20 plus, and you expect him to do it. I believe that's simply not true. And the numbers tell you that, right? I mean, that 2017 season, Kareem Hunt's rookie year, he himself ran the ball 272 times. Chiefs running backs combined had nearly 400 rushing attempts that year. You're looking at the 2016 season, which was a pairing of Sharkhandrick West and Spencer Ware.
Yeah.
Those two guys combined for 302 carries. Sharkhandrick West, Spencer Ware, and Jamal Charles in 2015, 303 carries. In 2014, Jamal Charles and Niall Davis combined for 340 carries between the two of them. And I will be the first to point out, okay, yes, Alex Smith was the quarterback, not Patrick Mahomes. I get that. Alex Smith at that point was, aging. He was at an age where he couldn't do it all himself anymore. I think the Chiefs understand Patrick Mahomes may be at that point as well. As talented a player as he is, I don't think we've seen it. Patrick Mahomes can't do it all by himself anymore. Give the guy some added assurance, especially coming off of an ACL tear. I fully believe that the Chiefs are going to establish the running game. It may not be giving Kenneth Walker 20 to 25 carries a game. He may get 16 carries a game, 17 carries a game. And then a second back, presumably somebody they take out of the draft coming up in April, as another guy who could get 5 or 6 or 7 carries a game. And you could get close to around 25 rushing attempts per game out of the backfield, more than enough to establish the ground.
Also, Andy Reid doesn't use running backs as much as other coaches, but he has one of the most talented, if not the most talented quarterback of our time. That's just a silly, I think, hill to die on. Like we mentioned in the last segment, in the one season in Mahomes' career in which he did have a bell cow explosive running back, rookie of the year, Kareem Hunt. I understand that wasn't in Patrick Mahomes' year, but he had won it the season before. We were completely satisfied with how much he ran the football. And also, to say, well, he had Alex Smith, so he ran it more. I mean, he also had guys like Donovan McNabb and Michael Vick and Brett Favre under him before that. And I think he used guys like Brian Westbrook and Jamal Charles enough. I don't know about you, Logan. I think those guys had pretty solid careers under Andy Reid as their head coach. So I also think, there's a couple of things, peculiarities, you might say, about Andy Reid that we all have. Short yardage play calls, red zone play calls. It used to be his timeout usage and his game clock management. Some of those things have gotten better as he's grown and learned and come along into the league. And other things just kind of remain. It's like we kind of just take a little bit of the bad with the good, but there's so much more overwhelmingly good than there is bad. I don't think it's a wasted contract just because he plays for Andy Reid. I don't think he's had anybody of this level in 8 seasons.
No. I can't.
Great call up on the text line. Shady McCoy as well had his best years under Andy in Philadelphia.
Correct. Yeah, so much so that when he left Philadelphia, the one place he wanted to land was with Andy Reid in Kansas City. And, you're looking at a situation where, like we pointed out, I mean, it's not like you were going to get Travis Etienne for much smaller a contract. I mean, the Saints gave Etienne more money over more years. Now, yes, Kenneth Walker got more in terms of the average annual value of it. I really think that this is the right move. I do. And I've said so for months, and I'll continue to stand by it. I myself was not thrilled with the amount of money when that first came out. But when I saw other guys at other positions getting insane money today and then saw Travis Etienne get what he got from the Saints, More than okay with that. And to say that Andy doesn't run the football, the last few seasons, that's fair. That's 100% fair to point out. But you can't, it cannot be a correlation without causation situation here. Okay? It can't just be, well, Andy doesn't run the football anymore. Well, why does Andy Reid not run the football anymore? Do you think that that's a conscious decision that he made for no reason? Like he just decided one day, I'm just going to make Mahomes throw it 45 times? No, I really don't believe that. Andy Reid is a smarter offensive mind than that. He's arguably the greatest offensive mind this league has seen. They are looking at a situation where they tried it. They tried this middle of the road, don't put a ton of capital in it, get a guy out of free agency and then use one of your day 2, day 3 picks and see if that's enough of a stopgap to try to patch this massive hole. And it hasn't worked. So go back to the drawing board. Go back to what worked when you had a tremendous running back in a Jamal Charles, when you used a day 1, day 2 pick in a Kareem Hunt early on in his career to do outstanding things. That's what this looks like for Kenneth Walker. It's not enough to just keep digging the same well and coming up with no water. Sometimes it's just time for a new well. And that's where we're at now.
The text line got me. Kareem Hunt was second in the Rookie of the Year voting that year. He didn't win it.
Yeah, he got gypped.
Yeah, he did. He led the league in rushing, though. So we've had a few texters come in and say Andy didn't run the ball more in that Kareem Hunt year. Are we going to really split hairs between like 272 carries, but we wanted him to give out 280 to his lead back? He's the leading rusher in the NFL. Like the most yards out of all 32 teams. The most productive running back was on your team. And we're saying he doesn't run the ball. And like, what are we like, guys? I know we went 6-11 last season, and we're not accustomed to that. But like, we are way overreacting to this whole Andy Reid doesn't run enough thing. We're way overreacting to it. Kenneth Walker is a good signing. The Chiefs will use him, assuming good health. Doesn't mean I think they're done. And Kenneth Walker is all of a sudden going to have 400 carries next season. I still want to see what Rashard Smith has in the tank. I want them to add a middle round running back. Bring back Kareem Hunt if you want to as well. Carry a fourth running back. I don't care. It's a good signing.
Yeah, and frankly, I'm hoping I don't want to see Kenneth Walker get 25 to 30 carries a game. I really don't. That's a recipe for disaster, in my opinion. We talk why do running backs have such a short shelf life? Because of wear and tear. You've got him on a 3-year deal. His explosiveness is one of the biggest factors that he has in this offense. He is consistently towards the top of the league in terms of explosive plays, carries of 10 plus, carries of 20 plus. And here's another crazy thing. Over the last 3 seasons, Kenneth Walker has been either the NFL's leader or second in the NFL in missed tackle rate per carry. That's something this Chiefs defense has sorely missed. Over that same 3-year stretch, Chiefs running backs 30th. 30th in the NFL.
If this team, and this is way oversimplifying it, if they could go from bottom 3 in the league to top 3 in the league in missed tackle percentage from their running backs, you know how much better this offense would be just on that one number alone? Are you kidding me? When's the last time a Chiefs running back broke off an impressive run of like 40 or more yards? I can't name like one. I think Kareem Hunt broke off like a 30-yard run against the Colts in that game last year.
Yeah. The last time I saw a truly explosive, off the top of my head, and it's probably not the right one, but the most recent example that comes to my brain is Damian Williams in the Super Bowl. Where he broke it off towards the end there and ran into the end zone, and we all thought he was going to get Super Bowl MVP against the Niners. That was the first Super Bowl.
And look, great run. He rushes to immortality. The Chiefs won their first Super Bowl in 50 years. I love it. I'm all for it. He didn't break a tackle on that run. I'm trying to think of an impressive run. Are we down to like Clyde Edwards-Helaire juking a guy out in his rookie game, going for 25 yards on a? Is that like the most impressive like missed tackle we've seen out of a Chiefs running back? I think it might be Kareem Hunt hurdling the guy in 2017. Might have been the last time a Chiefs running back did anything remotely impressive when it comes to breaking a tackle. I don't know, but it's been sorely missed for a long, long, long time.
913-586-7900. 965. It's sort of an interesting analogy to use. Talking about the lack of production from the Chiefs running back. And yes, there are those who will say, and I would be one of those to say, like, based on the numbers, I thought the Chiefs overpaid for Kenneth Walker. I think the Saints probably did the same thing for Travis Etienne, but that's where we are. The salary cap went up. There's inflation in salaries. Way it goes. Somebody in the text line at 913 says, when your living room is flooding from a roof leak, you aren't looking at the price of the shingles. You're looking at the hole in your ceiling. Kind of what it feels like, right? It goes back to the well analogy. The Chiefs kept trying this same effect of bringing in veteran backs, for low contracts and free agency, guys that were on their way out of the league, trying to reinvigorate them and using day 3 picks on backs and hoping that it would work. And it didn't. So yes, now they've gone the complete opposite direction. And I, for one, I'm all for it. I'm in. I'm fascinated to see how this thing is going to work out. Logan Weber alongside Nathan Williams. I've procrastinated the Travis Kelce conversation. Let's do that when we come back. All right. The greatest tight end of all time, in my opinion, on this matter, is back with the Chiefs for one more year. I'll come right out and say it now. I believe it's the last. Thrilled about it. Not necessarily thrilled about what they might be paying him for his services. We'll discuss that next here on After Hours 96.5, The Fan.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by AB May. Trust AB May to keep your home warm. For 0% interest for 72 months on select heating and cooling systems, call 913-732-9993 today. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Now's the time to complete that painting project you've been putting off. CertaPro Painters provides a free estimate quickly and at the right price. Whether it's interior or exterior, you'll never have to wonder what's next. They provide reliable updates because they know how important your home is to you. Ask about their spring sales event for 10% off qualifying projects through May 15th. Remember, each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in Kansas City. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
There's nothing like the sound of Royals baseball. When the boys in blue take the field, loyal fans tune in, turn it up, and stay connected. And where do Kansas City's most passionate sports fans gather? Right here on 96.5 The Fan. Sports fans are loyal fans. They support the teams they love and the businesses that support their team. If you're ready to grow your business and connect with a dedicated, engaged audience, call 816-522-0444 or email greg.bergen@odyssey.com. That's greg.bergen@odyssey.com.
I wish I'd gotten treated for my erectile dysfunction sooner. Men, I hear this all the time from our patients. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, resolve to get it treated today and stop having it affect you and the one you love. ED is simply a medical condition, and it's fully treatable. And at Heartland Men's Health, we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. Which means if you're like most guys, your ED will be a thing of the past. In fact, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and you'll likely find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. It's the new year. Resolve to get your ED treated and change your life. Call us at Heartland Men's Health. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new brick you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-6623. 800-499-6623. 800-499-6623.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Surprise to no one in Kansas City, but for some reason it's a complete shock to those nationwide. Yeah, Travis Kelce's coming back to the Kansas City Chiefs. Why in the world did anybody think anything different would happen? Like, I understand the prevailing thought with some folks. And like, you know, Carrington was a guy that brought up a pretty good point with some of that. Like, you know, bringing up, hey, you know, nobody ever thought Emmitt Smith would leave the Cowboys, and there he goes, right? Sometimes things happen, right? We saw Mike Evans, a guy who's, in my opinion, going to be in the Hall of Fame. He will most certainly put himself into the Buccaneers Hall of Fame after an outstanding 12-year career with them, leave and sign a 3-year deal with the San Francisco 49ers. There's just something about Travis Kelce and the relationship that he's had with the people of Kansas City and with Chiefs fans and with the organization. This felt like an inevitability. But, God, I really don't like the amount of money that they're stating right now. 1 year, $12 million carries a maximum value of $15 million a year. Now, it's really hard to be, in my opinion, be negative or positive about this, because I look at Travis Kelce and I'm like, does he still have top 10 production at the tight end position? Even at his age, even though many say he had a, quote, down year this season, I still think he had a very productive year. Over 75 catches, 850 yards, 5 touchdowns. Is it up to the standard that we saw from him 3 or 4 years ago? No. But I would still say he's probably a top 10 tight end in this league. And so it's hard to say that he doesn't deserve top 10 tight end money. And frankly, he's not getting top 10 tight end money, which is pretty insane to think about when you're looking at guys like Charlie Kohler today. Got a 2-year deal with the Chargers for an average annual value of $12.15 million.
I'll take Kelce at 12 over that. I'll take Kelce at age 47 for 12 a year over that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I mean, Charlie Kohler? I mean, he was good at Iowa State. I'll be the first to say that. I'll admit it. I'll be up front. I just can't be like at 36 years old, like paying a tight end $12 million.
I get it. And I started the offseason saying the same thing. The Chiefs can only bring him back if they pay him a certain number. He you know, production-wise, he's not what he used to be. I just don't think it's fair to compare Travis Kelce to what he used to be instead of comparing him to the market, which it sounds like we are doing in this segment. So, like, for the sake of the argument, everyone knows George Kittle is a massive overpay just based on how often injured he is. He's the leader of the circus. Trey McBride is probably the most productive, if not Brock Bowers, the most productive tight end in the league right now. He's making $19 a year. And behind that, like, there are some good names on this list, but I'm not I wouldn't prefer any of them on the Chiefs over Travis Kelce. TJ Hawkinson, Kyle Pitts, David Njoku, Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrews, Cole Kmet, Jake Ferguson, Charlie Kohler, Freiermuth, Dalton Schultz. He's making $500,000 more than Evan Ingram. Like, I would take Kelce over any of those guys, and they make anywhere between 12 and 17 a year each. So I think I have no idea why it took them until today to come up with a number. It does seem like Kelce's camp might have been trying to push out a narrative yesterday that he's really willing to go somewhere else, because I didn't buy that for a second. But I mean, $12 million a year. This isn't even like a Chris Jones deal where it's like, yeah, we're going for a three-peat and the end of it might be rough and like we're going to have to stomach it because he's an all-time great. It's like Kelce is still as productive as a $12 million a year tight end. What's wrong with it?
Yeah, I mean, the initial reaction is insane to think about. But look at the level of production. Is it up to the normal standard we saw from Travis Kelce? No, and that's the point you raised, is you got to stop looking at him as the same guy he was when he was 31 years old. He's now either the 11th or the 12th highest paid player at the tight end position in the NFL. Despite last season being 6th among tight ends in receptions with 76, 4th among tight ends in receiving yards with 851, and tied for 13th in receiving touchdowns by tight ends with 5. Fascinating. So
I'm trying to look up the Charlie Kohler
is Spot Track
contract
lying to me? Because there's a person in the text line saying he got 3 for 24, and I think that's right. But Spot Track is telling me he's got an average yearly value of 12.15.
Yeah, I think they're wrong. And thanks to the texter. But do you have a similar retort for David Njoku? No, and he's still making $2 million a year more than Travis Kelce.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He just lost his starting job to the Harold Finson. What's that?
Fannin. But yeah, like one of the 9 examples we just tossed out was not factually correct, and okay, fair.
Cole Kmet with the Bears.
They drafted a dude in the top 20 last year to go with him, and he's making more than Travis Kelce. Like, $12 million a year for a tight end is peanuts.
Yeah, the Falcons are giving Kyle Pitts $15 million because of the franchise tag.
Now, I'm with a lot of the text line and a lot of Chiefs Twitter running the offense through Travis Kelce at this point in time, I believe is fool's gold.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was their plan last season, but it turned pretty quickly into, hey, it's just still Mahomes and Kelce out here trying to play ball, and that's all we have going for us. Yeah, they need an investment at the wide receiver position. It looks like, assuming good health for Josh Simmons, they might have fixed the left tackle position. And today they tried to fix the running back position. They're trying to take heat off of Mahomes and Kelce. So I'm with everyone on that. He's not productive as he used to be, and even though he still gets open, he still has a great IQ. He's slower than he used to be. Like my eyes work as well when it comes to watching him. But saying he's not worth 1 for 12, it just I'm befuddled. Like I'm flabbergasted. I don't know where that's coming from. And like these are the same fans who are still mad at Tony Gonzalez for leaving, and say Travis Kelce is would never do that to the Chiefs. And then it's like we go to pay him $12 million for 1 year when he's still incredibly productive. We're upset about that. I don't know. I think we're kind of mad just to be mad today.
Yeah, a little bit, right? I mean, you're not even paying him top 10 money at the position, despite the fact that he put up top 10 numbers a season ago. He's been on your team. I mean, it goes both ways. I think he's still productive. You're not absolutely breaking the bank for what he's doing.
I think every other team in the NFL that has, of course, like in a vacuum, right? Assuming they all have the cap space, knowing a team like the Raiders probably don't need him and Bowers. Every other team in the NFL would take Travis Kelce at $12 million a year right now, and they wouldn't hesitate. They'd be thrilled to have him at that contract. Not to mention all the eyeballs they're going to have watching him in addition to what they would normally have that come along with his fiance. So I don't know. I think we're upset about nothing when it comes to this. I think it's a very fair contract.
I'm with you. I believe it is. The initial shock of 12 million up to 15 million with incentives was like, oh wow. But you got to let the initial shock of it kind of wear off, get into the numbers and be like, he's not even getting paid top 10 at the position.
Yeah,
there's 4 or 5 guys there that are getting paid a ton more money that weren't nearly as productive as he's been. Even though it was arguably the worst season he's had in a decade. And he was still more productive than most of these dudes.
I guess I would say when you look at the Chiefs' cap number, when you pull up a website and you look at the cap number and it was at like $25 million before free agency started, when you think, oh my goodness, we just gave half of that to one player and it's 40-year-old Travis Kelce, yeah, that thought is scary. We don't know how any of these are structured. We don't know if he has void years on his. We don't know if Kenneth Walker's making $4 million against the cap in his first year and this thing is backloaded and the cap's going to go up in the future and it'll account for that. We don't know if they're going to restructure Jones or Smith or Humphrey or cut a Drew Tranquil or a Noah Gray. Like, we're fine. The Chiefs will be able to eat this number, easily. So I think we just all need to relax a little bit when it comes to this number, although I agree, it's a higher number than I thought it would be. I'll get with you in the text line on that.
But it is a cheaper deal than he had gotten previously, right? I mean, he was on a deal where 2 for $34 plus some, he made $34.25 million between 2024 and the 2025 seasons. He'll make a max of 15 if he hits every incentive imaginable. And I'll pay that extra $3 million in incentives if he has another phenomenal year.
Well, look, when you're the greatest tight end in the history of football, you don't do this whole he's going to regress, so we're going to pay him less. No, the market would dictate Travis Kelce would get top of the market money based on his production. We always say a player is going to take a home team discount. They're loyal. They want to win and play with their guys they know in the city they know and the org they know, and they'll take less money to do that. That's what Travis Kelce did in this deal.
Yeah, that's what he's done his entire career.
Absolutely.
And look at NFL free agency today. Not a lot of guys willing to do that anymore. So big shout out to Travis Kelce. 913-586-7965. So much more to get to. Lots of now former Kansas City Chiefs signing elsewhere. But there was one other signing in Kansas City today. And of the 3 moves the Chiefs made today, this is the one I am least excited about. Let's discuss it next. The Chiefs needed D-line help. They got it. What do we make of it? Logan Weber alongside Nathan Williams. After hours here on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by AB May. Trust AB May to keep your home warm. For 0% interest for 72 months on select heating and cooling systems, call 913-732-9993 today. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
FanDuel is giving all customers a profit boost every single day through March 15th. So from now till that final 68 is revealed, you're getting daily profit boosts for a chance at boosted winnings on your college basketball bets. And trust me, you don't want to miss a single day. You're going to want to check in often to get those daily profit boosts. You can keep an eye on what the Missouri Tigers do in the SEC tournament or the Kansas Jayhawks and what Darren Peterson might do or Melvin Council Jr., you name it. Build a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. Or you could try live betting, and then you just jump in after the tip-off. Best of all, with FanDuel, you get paid instantly when you win. Just visit FanDuel.com/local to get started. That's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel Sportsbooks, the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 in President, Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I think one of the things that patients don't realize is that when they get a joint replacement, that's not a lifetime treatment option. And they're probably, if they are a younger patient, signing up for multiple surgeries down the road.
As a physician and medical director for QC Kinetics, Dr. Caravelli's seen a pattern of trending joint pain. Prolonged medication, steroids, then surgery, possibly another surgery.
So a lot of our patients are trying to avoid or put off surgery, and this is the treatment that can help them do that.
QC Kinetics extracts your body's healing substances, concentrates them back into your aching joints to help heal and restore those areas, providing lasting relief.
Oh, I love being able to tell my patients, before we do this surgery, let's try another option. Let's see if this is right for you, because now they might not have to have surgery at all.
Call today for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. 816-412-6299.
Liberty Mutual customize this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage cash that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
There's nothing like the sound of Royals baseball. When the boys in blue take the field, loyal fans tune in, turn it up, and stay connected. And where do Kansas City's most passionate sports fans gather? Right here on 96.5 The Fan. Sports fans are loyal fans. They support the teams they love and the businesses that support their team. If you're ready to grow your business and connect with a dedicated, engaged audience, call 816-522-0444 or email greg.bergen@odyssey.com. That's greg.bergen@odyssey.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hola amigos, Brad Evans here. Check out this booming voice and Pat Boyle on BetMGM tonight, covering the biggest sports stories from coast to coast, live and interactive on the free Odyssey app, discussing NFL offseason news and getting you ready for the madness in college hoops. BetMGM tonight with me, Brad Evans and Pat Boyle, live and interactive, Monday through Friday night starting at 6 Eastern, presented by BetMGM. Always live on the free Odyssey app and watch on YouTube at BetMGM tonight.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
More to get to, including an additional signing for the Kansas City Chiefs today that we haven't had a chance to discuss just yet, as well as a handful of now former Chiefs that have signed with other teams. Jalen Watson gone. Brian Cook gone as well, along with Trent McDuffie, who, boy, oh boy, if you needed another indication as to why the Chiefs traded him, there it was. You know, I had so many people ask me, like, why did the Chiefs get rid of Trent McDuffie? And it was, folks, I don't think you understand how much money that man is going to get. It's like he's going to get $30 million a year. And people looked at me like I was insane. Well, that's exactly what he got. 4 years, $120+ million, highest paid cornerback in the history of football. In fact, he's the highest paid player in NFL history that isn't a quarterback or an edge rusher. Think about that. All the positions on the football field that are not quarterback or edge rusher, Trent McDuffie makes more money than them. That's absurd. Highest AAV for a corner in the history of football. And you got a first rounder this year, a third rounder next year, a fifth, and a sixth. For a guy that there's no chance in hell you're going to be able to afford a long-term extension on.
So they dealt out the biggest cornerback contract in NFL history and also gave up 4 draft picks to get him. Yeah, I'm okay with getting 4 picks, saving $30 million
a year,
not paying him the $13 million we owed him anyway.
Correct.
As opposed to having him on. Now, this secondary looks pretty rough right now. We've got 2 more hours to talk about it because the Rams also got in the way of the Chiefs re-signing their other starting cornerback.
Yeah, the cupboard is bare, and we'll discuss that. And we'll also dig into, with day one of free agency done, how does it impact what the Chiefs' plans could be at picks 9 and 29 coming up in April's NFL Draft. Logan Weber alongside Nathan Williams. You're listening to After Hours. Our text line, 913-586-7965. You're listening to 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by AB May. Trust AB May to keep your home warm. For 0% interest for 72 months on select heating and cooling systems, call 913-732-9993 today. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Ready to watch your favorite baseball stars play in the WBC? Get in on the action with BetMGM. Sign into your BetMGM account and enjoy a WBC odds boost token to snag even more winnings on your next bet. It's easy. Just log into the BetMGM Sportsbook app, add any WBC bet to your bet slip, and activate your odds boost token. If you win your bet with your token activated, you'll score extra winnings. 3 quick steps and you could be on your way to extra winnings if your next WBC bet hits. The world's greatest ball players are about to duke it out on a global stage. Don't miss out on the fun. Add some extra excitement to this year's tournament by signing into your BetMGM account and grabbing your WBC odds boost token today. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Hi, Jason.
Hello, Toby.
Truck month.
It's here, Toby. It's actually truck month and a half. We've got all the way until the end of March to take advantage of these amazing incentives that Ford Motor Company pumps out during truck month, Toby.
And Lewisburg Ford.
We always have our $50 over invoice with amazing prices.
What's the deal?
Right now, you can get a 2025 F-150 for up to $16,000 off when you factor in our 50 over minus all the incentives. Or Ford gives you an option to take a $1,000 rebate along with 0% financing for 66 months, no down payment, and no payment for 90 days on the 2025s.
What about the 2026?
We've got a great selection of those too, Toby, and you can get a $4,000 rebate on the 2026, which means when you add that to our $50 over invoice pricing, you got $11,000 off on a 26, or you can take 0% for 36 months.
Okay, what else?
Toby, we're the #1 F-150 dealer, not just in Kansas City, but the entire Kansas City metropolitan area.
All right, what's your toll-free number?
816-444-2300.
Or LewisburgFord.com.
Net big cash at Harrah's Kansas City. With 3 ways to win, you could score major prizes. 1. Each day through March 28th, earn to swipe your Caesars reward card at a Net Big Cash kiosk to instantly win up to $100,000 cash. 2. Collect letters to spell out winning words to score up to $1,000 free play. 3. Join us March 28th for drawings with a grand prize of $50,000 cash at Harrah's Kansas City. Visit our website for full details. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Is your everyday congestion preventing you from enjoying life's big moments? Try Vicks Sinex Saline today and get yourself back in the action. Vicks Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion with a gentle, ultra-fine mist. Sinex Saline's drug-free, no-mess formula instantly moisturizes and soothes dry, irritated nasal passages for quick and effective relief. Get back to enjoying life's biggest moments to the fullest without having to worry about everyday congestion holding you back. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Follow us on Instagram for behind-the-scenes content at The Fan 965, KFMC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
Logan Weber here with you after hours. First day of the legal tampering period in the NFL, and moves galore. Maybe it's recency bias, but man, it felt like there were a lot of moves today, even for an NFL free agent period opening up. This legal tampering period thing has made it quite interesting across the league. Nathan Williams is alongside producing the program for you guys tonight. 913-586-7965. We talked about the Chiefs. Big news of the day, signing Kenneth Walker to that 3-year deal worth up to $45 million. Travis Kelce back with the Chiefs as well, a 1-year, $12 million deal. Incentives could bump that up to as high as $15 million. The Chiefs did make a third move today. And one of those that, again, when it initially happened, I was not thrilled about it. Chiefs signing, I believe it's Tonga is how you pronounce his first name.
Nailed it.
To a 3-year, $21 million deal, $14 million of that fully guaranteed. When I saw that number, I'm like, wow, so it averages out to $7 million a year. You look at even the $14 million guaranteed, you're like, that money's there regardless. Like, that's a lot of money. You look at his numbers, and I went on social media and talked about it. Like, I was even less thrilled. In 5 years in the NFL, the man has half a sack. Half of a sack in 5 NFL seasons. He's got 5 tackles for loss. What are we paying an average of $7 million a year for? He's a nose tackle. He's a gap eater. Somebody that could potentially take pressure off of Chris Jones, George Karlaftis, maybe an additional edge rusher, and Omar Norman-Lott, him coming back in year 2. Okay, that I'm a little bit more okay with that the more I think about it. But then I look at the actual details of his contract. And from there, I am a little bit more comfortable with this deal. Because the actual details of his contract are interesting. Yes, it's 3 years, $21 million, $14 million of that guaranteed. $5.6 million in a signing bonus off the bat. Okay? Over a quarter of the contract said and done with right there. He has a salary this upcoming season of only $1.215 million. It's guaranteed, but $1.2 million towards the cap this season. His contract in year 2, $6.75 million. Again, fully guaranteed. No guarantee on the 3rd year of the deal, which is $6.75 million again. So all the guarantees are completely up front with this deal. So year 1, it's not going to affect your bottom line in terms of the salary cap hardly at all. $1.215 million. Yes, coming up for that 27-28 season, it's going to be a decent chunk of change, $6.75 million. But the other part of this that I find interesting, and you sort of take it with a grain of salt, right? Because it's social media. But taking a look at how Patriots fans have reacted to him leaving today has been interesting. It's made me feel a little bit more confident in this idea. Patriots fans appeared very disappointed that Tonga was leaving their organization. So I guess part of that's on me because I just got so deep into the numbers. And that's completely fair to point out, right? I got people in the text line saying, why would we sign a D tackle that has half a sack in 5 years as well as very few TFLs? How is a non-threat to get to the backfield going to help Chris Jones? Because he's a gap eater. He's 6'3", 330. He's a big-bodied dude in the middle of that defensive line that teams are going to have to play honestly. He's a guy that you really will struggle with if you put a single guy on him. He's going to make it a lot tougher for, say, the Raiders. If you're playing the Raiders, Tyler Linderbaum's going to have a really hard time blocking off of him. He's not just going to be able to chip and move on as consistently. Patriots fans seem pretty disappointed in the fact that he's leaving. I'm still skeptical at best about this move, but I'm not nearly as irate about it as I was initially.
The Raiders and what the heck they're doing is another conversation for another day. Outshooting Creed Humphrey's annual average value by 50% in paying Tyler Linderbaum. So he got that Trent McDuffie money. It just makes no sense to me.
We're talk about resetting the market.
Yeah, but like I said, probably a different topic for later in the offseason. I'm not upset about this Tonga signing whatsoever. Do I think this should have been priority number one? No. Half a sack over 5 years is not inspiring. I know there's not very many tackles for loss, but like you mentioned, he's going to count against the cap in essence what a veteran minimum would this first year. And next year when he makes about $6 million, he's going to account for, because the cap would be probably 320, 315, 320 based on how fast it's growing. He'll account for about 2% of the cap next year. It's a nothing deal. So Kyrus Tonga is known as a physical player. He's out of BYU, I believe, so I'm sure this is a guy that was on Andy Reid's and Brett Veach's mind, when he came out a few years ago. This team needed a run stuffer, but the reason that I like this signing, even though I'm not sitting here and saying Tonga's a difference maker, the reason I like this signing is because I believe the approach Brett Veach needs to take is not getting boxed in during the draft. You need to go out and get somebody all over the roster. Don't plan on just saving edge until the draft or saving corner until the draft or receiver. You do a little bit in each position. That way you can let the board come to you. And what I wouldn't want is the Chiefs to get in a spot at 29 where they think, man, Banks is gone, Woods is gone, and we're down to McDonald. And then this DT class really drops off. So we got to trade up to get him because we have nobody there. No, this guy's available on a very cheap deal, and you go out and get him. I'm okay with it.
I am too. And I believe he is absolutely an upgrade. Just not even such on the numbers, but, sat down this afternoon and watched a little bit of tape and can tell you definitively just from a run defense standpoint, just from his ability to play with a level of physicality on the interior, he is no doubt in my mind an upgrade over that combination of Derek Nottie and Mike Pennell when they brought him back and Jerry Tillery that they had last season. I like a rotation that consists of Chris Jones, Kyrus Tonga, and Omar Norman Lott potentially much better than I like what they had a season ago.
There too. Yeah, sorry to cut you off. Throw another rookie in there to finish out the room. I'm not upset with that at all.
And here's something that I find interesting because it hasn't been – nobody else has published it today. This article came from Athlon Sports. It was picked up by Yahoo, but nobody else has uttered a word about it. But Athlon Sports is reporting that the Chiefs restructured Chris Jones' contract. This story came out about 6 hours ago, courtesy of a Chris Phelps. This was released at 1:30 this afternoon, so almost 6 hours ago, saying that they restructured his deal, creating an additional $22.5 million in cap space. Multiple questions. Number one, how did you know and why is nobody else picking up on it?
And where's Ricky Scoops?
And so 3 questions.
Only he's allowed to do that.
Number 2, where is Ricky Scoops? Number 3, what are the additional details of this restructuring? Don't just give me a monetary amount. How was this restructured? Did they just convert his salary into a signing bonus like they did with Mahomes? Was there a negotiation? Did they remove the void in his contract after this upcoming season? What are the details that are here? Okay, don't just throw out a money amount, and that's why I take this whole thing with a grain of salt. Because I am not seeing anything from anybody other than this report from Athlon Sports about Chris Jones having his contract restructured. And I find that fascinating.
I hadn't even heard about that at all. It's been long rumored, and it's the easiest way to free up a lot of cap space. I mean, I don't know everything about the possible restructure with Chris Jones in terms of how that would fall, but I am pretty confident it would lock you into him for the 2028 season.
I mean, just knowing who his agents are, they have shown a real tendency to not mess around right now. So if somebody comes to the negotiating table, I have to imagine they're going to be like, yeah, we'll do it, but you got to get rid of that void.
I'm just philosophically against that based on his age. I understand he's a Hall of Famer. He's a first ballot Chiefs Ring of Honor guy. I just would love to have preserved that out. I rather would have taken a Trey Smith restructure, even a George Karlaftis restructure, a Humphrey restructure, but it's been the rumor they're going to do it. I will say this about Tonga. We talk about Dave Merritt and his cornerback tree and how he gets the most out of that position. Mike Vrabel does the same on the D line. And so I am confident in a player's toughness and I guess just overall acumen after he's been coached by Mike Vrabel. I mean, I'm looking back at that Titans roster, and of course Jeffrey Simmons was there, but guys like Harold Landry, and then guys that didn't do much else in the league, like Daquan Jones, like Jarrell Casey. guys on this year's Patriots team who have broken out, like Caleb Von Chason, who had a slow start to his career, Christian Barmore, Milton Williams. Like, I'm confident in getting a run-stuffing defensive tackle from Mike Vrabel's tree. I am.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Just from the standpoint of, I really do believe it's going to have positive impacts along the rest of this defensive line. And I don't believe that the Chiefs are done along the defensive line. They may not even be done on the interior of their defensive line. Other than Chris Jones, we've come to know this Chiefs defensive tackle room, the interior, as a rotational unit. You bring in a guy that's a run stuffer, a guy that you can look to on second and short, third and short situations reliably to stop the ground game of an opponent. And even this past season, while, yes, it's a consolation stat to look at around the fact that he didn't register a sack, he did register, I believe, 11 quarterback pressures last year and had his highest rate of pass rush situations of his career, which I find interesting. For something that's not going to affect your salary cap this year, I'm in. Something in the text line says it brings up a great point, and I'm with it 100%. Said it earlier. Defensive tackles, nose guards, they don't generate sacks. That's typically not their job, okay? A Chris Jones is an outlier. An Aaron Donald is an outlier. Even a Dexter Lawrence, who had a huge regression this past year, a lot of it due to injury, I will say. Those guys are outliers. Typically, defensive tackles are not dudes who are going to register double-digit sack seasons. That's reserved for edge rushers and outside linebackers in 3-4. That's their job.
It's what makes Chris Jones so valuable.
Right. Absolutely it is. And Chris Jones is more of a pass-rushing defensive tackle. So pairing him next to an upper echelon run-stopping defensive tackle, I think it's a really good spot for the Chiefs to be in. 913-586-7965. Well, we talked about the additions, or maybe the keepsakes for the Chiefs in free agency today. Let's talk about the substitutions. Let's talk about the subtractions from this Chiefs team, because there were already a couple of them today and potentially some more coming up later on in free agency as well. Let's discuss that. Logan Weber alongside Nathan Williams. You're listening to After Hours, 96.5, The Fan.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by AB May. Trust AB May to keep your home warm. For 0% interest for 72 months on select heating and cooling systems, call 913-732-9993 today. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Having unexpected car trouble or just in a car accident? Call Jay Southland Tow Service, 816-779-4869 or southlandtow.com. Use the tow service trusted by most local police departments. They can do it all. Be in the know and call Jay's Southland Tow.
Hi, I'm Maria, salon owner. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic, made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
There's nothing like the sound of Royals baseball. When the boys in blue take the field, loyal fans tune in, turn it up, and stay connected. And where do Kansas City's most passionate sports fans gather? Right here on 96.5 The Fan. Sports fans are loyal fans. They support the teams they love and the businesses that support their team. If you're ready to grow your business and connect with a dedicated, engaged audience, call 816-522-0444 or email greg.bergen@odyssey.com. That's greg.bergen@odyssey.com.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives.
This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call Heartland Men's Health today, because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you, it can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at Heartland Men's Health will give you back your sex life, because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So, make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. That's heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Mark?
I've been doing home remodeling for 30 plus years, but the economy crashed. I wound up losing my home, losing my job, and on top of that, owing the IRS a ton of money. I owed the IRS $114,000. It really, truly was the worst part of my life.
Then Mark found tax relief advocates.
On news radio, I heard about TRA, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? So I picked up the phone and I called them. When it was all said and done, TRA settled my $114,000 debt for $100, and I'm telling you, I was ecstatic. Could not believe it. Would recommend TRA to anyone.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Mark did and call TRA for a consultation.
But TRA did. They gave me a second chance, and I'm forever grateful.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-491-9914. 800-491-9914. That's 800-491-9914.
Kansas City, you need to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can watch all your favorite shows right from your phone, computer, or tablet. Every day, we stream the shows live on YouTube, plus clips from the biggest moments and biggest guests. Hit that subscribe button so 96.5 The Fan goes right to the top of your feed. In your car, on your phone, or on your computer, we are everywhere. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
After hours, 96.5 The Fan. Our text line, 913-586-7965. You know, there's good rage bait, and then there's great rage bait. This one here in the text line is a good one. I'm going to read this.
I think it's awful rage bait. Go ahead.
This one, that rage bait in and of itself is just a dumpster fire,
Fair.
and I despise it. But
good point.
This text that I'm about to read is going to get some people riled up, and I know this is exactly why he said it.
Well, I think we need to read a disclaimer first. This is not the opinion of 96.5 The Fan or Logan Weber or.
This is the opinion of nobody in any way, shape, or form attached to this station in an employee-like capacity. Okay, but this comes from an A16. In fact, David and KC is what it says. Chris Jones is a waste of a roster spot and payroll. No value, no pressure, no sacks. He says no value again. So double down on the no value thing. Okay, I mean, Chris Jones, certainly his production has dropped the last couple of years. I will be the first to say that. His production dropped. He had 7 sacks last year. So no sacks is simply not the case. He had 25 quarterback hits last year, which is more than he had in 2024. So, no pressure, 25 quarterback hits suggest that that's also not the case. So the no value part that you pointed out twice is also not the case.
Well, then he signs his name.
Yeah. Then he says David and Casey. And then
here's a PS.
Here's the real rage bait. Okay.
Yeah.
This is where it really lies with people. This is going to get some folks riled up. And again, this is not our opinion. David and Casey also says Mahomes should be traded. He is washed up whether you like to hear it or not.
Yeah. Do you think the Rams would have given us 13 as well if we would have included Mahomes in the trade?
It's a good thought.
Because he could sit a year under Stafford and
There
get
you go.
healthy.
Yeah,
and then,
really, learn the offense, those sort of things. Because obviously he needs that. Yeah. Not to say that these two things are correlated, but just a PSA for all the children that could possibly be listening to this program. Drugs are bad, and let's avoid them. All right. Back to the discussion. We talked about the Chiefs signing Kenneth Walker in a free agent deal, record-breaking, I might add, at least for a little while until Travis Etienne signed a bigger deal, at least in terms of total value, not average annual value. Bringing back Travis Kelce on that 1-year, $12 million deal up to 15. Kairos Tonga and the 3-year, $21 million deal that he signed with the Chiefs, which is really 2 for 14 with a $7 million option on the 3rd year. How about the players the Chiefs lost? And, of course, we started, obviously Trent McDuffie. We talked about that extensively last week, him being traded to the Rams. The haul the Chiefs got back in return. He signs the largest cornerback contract in NFL history over the weekend. How about the Rams doubling down? Signing Jalen Watson today as well. The Los Angeles said, we'll take your whole secondary. How about that? We'll just, Chiefs, send him on over our direction. A big deal for him. 3 years, $51 million in total. It includes a signing bonus of $12.75 million, $12.74 million to be exact. His base salary for this upcoming year is $2.25 million. He will get a $4 million, the roster bonuses and what have you. He's got a 2027 base salary of $11 million, which is fully guaranteed at signing, the remaining 2.99 of which guaranteed for injury at signing. His 2028 base salary, $16.49 million. Disappointed, certainly, to see Jalen Watson leave. I have long said, even before McDuffie was inevitably traded, that if you were going to deal McDuffie, I would feel a lot more comfortable with it if you had Jalen Watson signed to an extension. But we all knew, and probably should have just known it was inevitable. What do we know about the Chiefs? Well, in recent years, they haven't drafted wide receiver really well, and they have drafted defensive back really well. And in drafting defensive back really well, the Chiefs don't sign their defensive backs to a second contract. It just doesn't happen, okay? Tyrann Mathieu, they signed him at a free agency as soon as his contract was up. Thank you for your service. Good luck at your next stop. Same thing with Justin Reed. Same thing with, even before the Veach days with Marcus Peters, right? Before you had to pay him a second contract, trade him to the Rams. Don't pay Charkandrick West. You let him go in free agency, and he ends up with the Niners.
It was Eric Berry.
Eric Berry was the last one to get an extension with this, to get a second contract with this Chiefs team. Not even as a rookie, but just to get 2 separate contracts with the Kansas City Chiefs. Eric Berry. Nobody else since. And they've had some really good DBs come through. I mean, not Kendall Fuller, excuse me. None of them. And the same goes now for Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson, as well as Brian Cook.
Yeah, I think there's a few angles to consider here. The Chiefs, the Rams, and then our station. And our station is greatly hurt by this because the morning show is not going to be able to play the Coming to America sounder nearly as much as they used to be able to. Now there's 0 Watsons on this team, and there were multiple Watsons just like 1 year ago.
Yeah.
It's we need to be talking about that more. It's a big loss. Look, I mean, for the Rams, you're on the doorstep of going to the Super Bowl, and your biggest concern is we can't cover JSN. All right? Everyone knows that this is the Super Bowl favorite if they just had a secondary. They've got cap space. They've got picks. They're all in for one more year. You know what a really good philosophy I think is? Well, money be damned. How many Brett Veach scouted and Dave Merritt coached cornerbacks can we acquire this offseason? There are worse plans that I've heard of. I'll say that. From the Chiefs angle, boy, yeah, it's bleak out there right now. I mean, you are counting on like we're all basically just praying that Christian Fulton was like hurt for most of the year last year, and that it's not like indicative of how good he is that he wasn't playing. We're banking on the Noel Williams that we all think exists, the potential in him, seeing that to fruition, and then we're banking on Veach doing it again, yet again. Now this draft, I think I talked about it last week with Carrington. It is ripe full of guys who are tall, who are fast, can jump. Like if you want physical traits in a cornerback, this year's draft in the middle rounds is chock full of them. So look, who's to say he can't do it again? He's been doing it for almost a decade now. So it's going to be a very interesting thing to watch Veach work his magic in the secondary again.
He's going to have to, no doubt about it. With Jalen going 3 for 51 to the Rams, the trade for McDuffie to the Rams, plus the biggest extension for a corner in NFL history, biggest contract, I should say. And then Brian Cook, chief safety, signing with the Cincinnati Bengals. And that one, again, I understand for folks, that's a tough pill to swallow because we here in Kansas City, unless your name's Drew Nixon, do not like the Cincinnati Bengals. But I can't fault the man for signing with Cincinnati for a variety of reasons. Number one, the amount of money that he got from the Cincinnati Bengals today, right? 3 years, $40.25 million, including he's getting almost half his money, $18.1 million of that coming in year one of the deal. Can't fault a man for taking a money up front contract like that. And then you look at his life, right? This is a kid that was born in Cincinnati, who grew up in Cincinnati, who went to high school just outside of Cincinnati, played a year at Howard, and then transferred to play at the University of Cincinnati. Can you fault the guy for taking a huge contract and going home? I really can't.
No, it's a couple. I mean, great story for Jalen Watson as well, even though he's not from LA. I know Trent McDuffie is. I mean, just like being a 7th round pick, going to 3 Super Bowls. When I think about Watson specifically, I'm like, man, he was overlooked. And then Justin Herbert threw him an absolute duck in that game on Amazon on Thursday night. He returns it. The Chiefs win that game. And all of a sudden, Jalen Watson is one of the stickiest corners in the NFL. And he gets paid $51 million. Like what a moment for him. Same thing for Brian Cook. You suffer a terrible injury in Green Bay a couple of years ago. You make it back. You've been to a couple of bowls. You've won. You've had success. Now you get paid by your hometown team. Like I love, for an individual, all 3 of these guys, McDuffie, Watson, and Cook, I love the way they ended up. But I don't understand what Cincinnati's doing. Like, who's the pass rusher they signed? Didn't they grab someone on the D-line today? Was it Mafe?
Yeah, I think they got Boye Mafe today, too.
He's one of the guys I wanted the Chiefs to avoid. I think he got overpaid. Odafe Owe was the guy I wanted. But, like, we're signing a couple of, like, average guys, letting Trey Hendrickson, I just don't think there's a plan over there in Cincinnati. So, unfortunately, I don't think Cook's going to be on a successful team. But I like the move for him as a person.
Oh, folks. So far, the Chiefs are in a major deficit of lost talent compared to signed and gained talent. It's what happens when you win 3 Super Bowls. You have to pay people, and there's people you simply cannot pay. Way of the road, man. This is what the negative side of being a dynasty looks like. Guys play well on winning teams, and they go make crazy money elsewhere. Way of the road. I mean, think about the fact that all 3 of those guys were picked by the Chiefs in 2022. You want an example of how good Brett Veach is at his job? All 3 of those guys picked in the same draft class. And they made almost $500 million in contracts today. Those 3 dudes.
Yeah.
Or not half, a quarter of a billion dollars.
They got a good year or 2 out of Williams as well in the same draft. It was a nice day at the office, nice weekend at the office for Brett Veach.
Yeah.
Along with Chenal, who's going to get paid this offseason as well. Karlaftis has already been extended. I would take that over again if we could do that again in about a month and a half, please, Brett.
Yes. Yeah. I would be super thrilled with that. On top of the fact that if there is one guy from this draft class, and I said this before, if there was one guy in this draft class, this 2022 class becoming free agents, that I would most like to see the Chiefs give an extension to, it's Leo Chenal. I would really like to see them bring him back, play him, give the guy more reps, give the guy more snaps, because, I think that's part of the reason why his free agent value is low right now, is because he just doesn't have as many snaps as other guys do. So the sample size is too small and maybe giving teams a little bit of hesitation. So I think he's a very, very reasonable re-signing in terms of the finances of it.
Yeah, he's the most excited I would be about any of these Chiefs free agents coming back, like price considered. Because, like, of course, if I could have had Watson back for much cheaper, I would have loved to have him back. But yeah, I think Leo Chenal would be great. You do wonder what the cap is going to look like when all of this shakes out. We've got one guy reporting Jones has been restructured. We've got Tonga's numbers, but we don't have Walker's breakdown yet. So, like, the cap's a little bit of an unknown right now. Only at one Arrowhead Drive do they know the real number they have to work with. But, like, assuming the space is there and they think they can still go out and, like, get a veteran wide receiver or edge rusher, if Chenal is also possibly in the cards, I'd be all in on that.
Boy, I mean, just...
You know, I mentioned it a couple of months ago when we were on Profesco and Dusty. I think we did it on a Chiefs Take on Instagram. Like, I would cut Drew Tranquil if it helps to bring back Leo Chenal. I know they're not a one-to-one in terms of positional value, but I'd cut Noah Gray if that helps save money to bring back Leo Chenal. I'm very interested in having him on this football team.
913-586-7965. Lots of messages in the text line, some that are just absolutely ridiculous. We'll get to those next. Logan Weber, Nathan Williams, you're listening to After Hours, 96.5, The Fan.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by AB May. Trust AB May to keep your home warm. For 0% interest for 72 months on select heating and cooling systems, call 913-732-9993 today. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Xfinity Tech Support, Matthew speaking.
Hi, I live in a pretty remote place, like Jurassic Park remote. No!
Wow.
Will Xfinity Mobile work out here?
Yep, the combination of reliable Wi-Fi and 5G makes it so that you can stay connected in all kinds of places. Plus, you get access to ultra-fast speeds and coverage, whether you're poolside or out live streaming with a T-Rex.
Hold still, you're about to go viral.
Welcome to a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile. Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026. Taxes, fees, extra.
There's nothing like the sound of Royals baseball. When the boys in blue take the field, loyal fans tune in, turn it up, and stay connected. And where do Kansas City's most passionate sports fans gather? Right here on 96.5 The Fan. Sports fans are loyal fans. They support the teams they love and the businesses that support their team. If you're ready to grow your business and connect with a dedicated, engaged audience, call 816-522-0444 or email greg.bergen@odyssey.com. That's greg.bergen@odyssey.com.
Men, the new year is here, and if you're like many of us, you're ready to improve your health. But if you're feeling low energy, not sleeping well, or not seeing results in the gym, keeping that resolution can be tough. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if those symptoms sound familiar, we can likely help. They often point to low testosterone, and treating low T is what we do. But this year, we're also helping men go further with 4 targeted body composition plans featuring growth hormone peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more, designed to boost energy, support metabolism, enhance recovery, and accelerate fat loss. With our low T treatments combined with our body composition programs, most men notice real improvements: more energy, better focus, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and often a renewed sex drive as well. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or visit heartlandmenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis and stop smoking now without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Only $59.99 guaranteed. That's right. Don't just cut back. Stop smoking once and for all. Also, lose all the weight you want. Only $59.99 guaranteed with Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Let hypnosis destroy unwanted cravings, late day eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating, and lose the weight. Weight Loss Hypnosis, Wednesday, April 1st at the Wingate by Wyndham, Kansas City. Formerly Sure Stay Plus by Best Western in Kansas City, 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking hypnosis, 8 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
Ever notice how your floors still look dirty, even after you mop?
Yeah, what's up with that?
Swiffer Power Mop gives you a deeper clean you can actually see.
I'm listening.
Unlike string mops, Swiffer Power Mop absorbs more dirt and locks it away, even in those hard-to-reach spots.
Like behind the toilet?
Exactly. The new micro scrubbers deliver thousands of tiny deep cleaning actions, so your floors look, smell, and feel clean.
Bye-bye, dirty floors. Hello, Swiffer Power Mop.
Try the Swiffer Power Mop. Love it or your money back.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
I got folks asking about how the moves today change the Chiefs' draft thought process. We'll definitely discuss that in a little bit. Somebody mentioned with Brian Cook gone, what do the Chiefs look for at safety? And the name thrown around immediately by this person, Kevin Byard. And I honestly think it's an intriguing fit. Because if there's one thing to know about Kevin Byard throughout his career, dude gets to the football. 36 career interceptions, including 7 last year as a member of the Chicago Bears with 93 total tackles. A guy that can play kind of all over the field in that safety spot. He can play a deep third. He can play a deep half. You can bring him down into the box as a run stopper. And he's a veteran safety. And we know that traditionally that's been the calling card for Steve Spagnuolo defenses, is to have that veteran safety, to have that Tyrann Mathieu, Justin Reed sort of guy in the secondary. You know, you could not have that this past season because you had reliable veteran starting corners with Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson last year. That's not going to be the case now. So even if you do bring in a corner through free agency and another through the draft, having a Kevin Byard who's still playing at a really high level, veteran guy, he's been in this league for a decade now since he was drafted in 2016, been an All-Pro, still, even at 32 years old, led the NFL in interceptions this past year with 7 of them. It's just a matter of how much is it going to cost. That's a nerve-wracking thought.
It is. I don't think the safety market has been all that higher than I thought it would be. All that much higher than I thought it would be. I don't know why that sounds weird coming off the tongue. The Chiefs, like last week, I feel like the text line had come to a consensus. Like the Chiefs' solution to the running back problem was just getting Jeremiah Love at 9. And it's like, well, we can't assume he's going to be there. Like, what's the plan then if you don't sign a big running back and then Love's not there? And I feel like today the text line is doing that with Caleb Downs. Like, that's just the solution as of right now. Is we'll just take Downs at 9. Like, great. I would love Caleb Downs to be Brian Cook's replacement, and you draft him at number 9. I'm not moving forward as if that's going to be a foregone conclusion. I think they do need another veteran addition in that secondary.
No question about it, at least in my view anyway. You know, those are the text messages I can get behind. Somebody's asking about Romeo Doubs to Kansas City. I wouldn't be opposed to it, right? It's a pretty lackluster wide receiver class. I mean, if you can't get Tyquan Thornton back on a reasonable deal, you'd have to pay Dobbs more. I don't know if Dobbs is a much better player than Tyquan Thornton, at least in my view. Maybe.
I would be pro both. I would love Tyquan Thornton back. I guess same thing for guys like Dobbs. I just don't know what the market's going to be for them. The wide receiver market's really confusing. It is a lackluster class that was somehow buoyed with Alec Pierce, the definition of mid. Before you guys attack me on the text line, I know he's got good traits. Like, I get that he's big and fast and a contested catch guy. The guy averages 770 yards a season, and he got $30 million. It's insane.
They gave him $30 million a year based off of potential, and they must feel pretty strongly about it because they traded Michael Pittman.
Yeah, who then made not even $20 million a year in annual average value, which is a pay cut for him. So just a super strange day in the wide receiver market, in my opinion. So there are guys out there like Romeo Dobbs, Juwan Jennings. Guys are physical. They're contested catch guys. Like, I think those are guys the Chiefs need. Are they going to be closer to Alec Pierce, or are they going to be closer to Michael Pittman? Like, what's the market for them? As they sit out there longer, I think it's falling.
Yeah.
But I don't know enough information to answer that question about wide receivers because they're so all over the board.
Somebody's saying lackluster wide receiver class based on what? I mean, based on, no, I'm not talking about the draft. I'm talking about the free agent class of wide receivers is pretty lackluster. And I will say the wide receiver class in the draft is, I would say, top heavy. I mean, Tate, Tyson, Lemon, and then things. There's certainly separate tiers of wide receiver in this year's draft class, I will say. But in terms of the free agent class, I mean, outside of, you're looking at Alec Pierce, Wan'Dale Robinson, Mike Evans, Rashid Shaheed. In terms of average annual value of free agents signed right now, 5th is Jalen Naylor. That's sort of where your free agent class is right now.
Let me guess, Raiders?
Yeah.
How did I know?
Yeah. 3 years, $35 million.
Yeah, the 816 asks, would you ask about Marvin Harrison Jr.? Arizona's reportedly open to trading him, and as the texter says, they're clearly tanking. They paid Gardner Minshew almost $8 million today to like compete with Jacoby Brissett, which is the most disgusting thing I've ever heard. Whoever the Chiefs get at veteran, whether it is just a Thornton or whether it's a guy like Jennings, like it is going to have, they're going to have drawbacks. I don't think this team is or should be in the A.J. Brown trade market. Like, the addition to wide receiver is going to be either a rookie or like a veteran that is like inconsistent. And so like I'd kick tires on Marvin Harrison. I would trust the Chiefs if Chris O'Shea and EB and Andy thought they could resurrect his career a little bit. Like, sure, I'm sure that the price can't be more than a mid-round pick for him.
So my question for you, because I have my answer, Brian Thomas, it's been reported now, the Jaguars are entertaining offers for Brian Thomas. Teams were kicking around and it seemed like Jacksonville wasn't interested, but now it seems like publicly they're saying, hey, we're gonna entertain the idea of a trade. Would you rather trade for Brian Thomas Jr. or would you rather trade for Marvin Harrison?
Brian Thomas Jr. I think he's more likely to come, because what is Harrison? Is he in year 4 and Brian Thomas is going into year 3, or they could both be into year 3?
I think they're both. Yeah, I think they came out of the same draft.
I feel like Brian Thomas Jr. has the traits that would lend himself more towards what the Chiefs need. I believe he's like bigger than Marvin Harrison Jr. Also, I think it's more likely the Chiefs end up 2 years from now extending a guy like Brian Thomas Jr. compared to Marvin Harrison. Like, I think it's more likely that he sees success in his next stop than Harrison does. For that reason, I'd go for Brian Thomas Jr., although the price would be higher. You'd have to probably give up either pick 40 or a substantial package of like multiple thirds to get him. And like, that's significant, but also he's not going to cost you a whole lot of money once you get him in here. And right now we're looking at drafting a guy and paying a veteran. If we could combine those into one and spend pick 40 on Brian Thomas, I would be in on that.
Yeah, on somebody that you would have 2 years of a rookie deal left on and then a 5th-year player option in either scenario. You and I agree with you. The asking price on Brian Thomas Jr. probably higher than an asking price for Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
But, is that a foregone conclusion? Like, are the Cardinals that willing to undervalue, or maybe not undervalue, but lower the value that they believe they have with Marvin Harrison, a guy they took with a top 5 pick just 2 years ago. And I mean, at least like with Brian Thomas Jr., you see a lack of, a drop in production from his rookie year to his second year. And it's like, I mean, he had a good quarterback throwing him the football in Trevor Lawrence, a guy who good quarterbacks may be a strong way to put it, but a guy who had a much better year.
5th in MVP voting.
Right. Compared to Marvin Harrison Jr., and how much of it is his own struggles, which they are apparent. The drops are a problem with Marvin Harrison Jr., no question about it. But how much of it is on him for the lack of production? How much of it is on the fact that there's nobody else in that offense around him other than Trey McBride? And how much of it is he's got Kyler Murray and Jacoby Brissett and possibly Gardner Minshew now throwing him the football?
Well, yeah, Minshew didn't look good in like the 5 passes he threw for the Chiefs this season. And don't sleep on Michael Wilson either out there in Arizona. The guy from fantasy owners love that guy. I'm with you in terms of that being the argument, the back and forth from a Chiefs perspective. But to answer the original question of like, would the Cardinals be willing to drop their value? This like thing we do with quarterbacks and receivers is like, well, you can't evaluate a quarterback until you get a lot of weapons around him. So if you got a good quarterback, you got to go like the Bears. You got to go trade for DJ Moore and draft Odunze and Burden and Loveland before you know if Caleb Williams is good. We've seen the same thing with a whole bunch of, Bryce Young, for example. Tyler Shuck is getting that treatment this offseason, it looks like. Like same thing with Marvin Harrison, though, except the Cardinals don't have Fernando Mendoza staring them down this season. Kyler Murray is gone. Malik Willis is gone. Is Will Levis? It's like a guy like that or Jacoby Brissett again. So like, unless the Cardinals win the race to the bottom and tank again next year, they're not going to have a guy that can get MHJ the ball to figure out about. So like, I think if I'm the Cardinals, someone gives me a package that I'm interested in, and like I'm not planning on paying him, I'd listen.
And again, last question I've got here, we get to a break. So if the offers are, just for the sake of the argument, if the Jags asking price for Brian Thomas Jr. is pick 40, and the Cardinals asking price for Marvin Harrison Jr. is 74, which would you be more willing to pull the trigger on?
Off the rip, I'm more interested in Brian Thomas. I'm
40. In the same boat.
And it's because I think he's more likely to get another contract in Kansas City. If it was not pick 74, I'd probably go with Marvin Harrison Jr. because I do think there is still potential there. Yeah, give me Thomas for 40 over Harrison for 74.
I mean, they have the same number of touchdown catches in their careers, but Brian Thomas Jr. has nearly 500 more receiving yards and 32 more catches. And that comes after a really, really regressed year 2 that saw him go from 87 catches on 133 targets to 48 catches on 91 targets. And he only played in 14 games, right? That's also another factor. I'm with the people in the text line that are like, Marvin Harrison Jr., the upside that he has is insane. And yeah, he was outstanding at Ohio State. But boy, he looks like a shell of himself in Arizona. And we can all sit here and hope that bringing him to Kansas City would open things up for him, because that does happen on occasion. But there's something about production versus potential, and Brian Thomas Jr. has shown more of that.
At one point we were evaluating a guy off of NFL tape last year and the other guy off college tape in 2023. I agree there's a lot of potential there, but I am not sure it's going to translate to the NFL.
913-586-7965. More coming up, including how does today's free agency acquisitions and losses for the Chiefs and other teams around the league affect what the Kansas City Chiefs may do in the first round with picks 9 and 29. It's going to get interesting here over the next month or so as we head to April's draft. Logan Weber, Nathan Williams, After Hours on your home for Kansas City sports, 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by AB May. trust AB made to keep your home warm. For 0% interest for 72 months on select heating and cooling systems, call 913-732-9993 today. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Call Hamilton today for our $79 mainline drain cleaning special. The pros at Hamilton will inspect your drains with video camera technology to pinpoint exactly what is needed to clear those clogs and help prevent expensive drain repairs. The expert technicians at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to solve your problem the right way, the first time. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions.
License number 2025-11120.
I wish I'd gotten treated for my erectile dysfunction sooner. Men, I hear this all the time from our patients. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, resolve to get it treated today and stop having it affect you and the one you love. ED is simply a medical condition, and it's fully treatable. And at Heartland Men's Health, we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. Which means if you're like most guys, your ED will be a thing of the past. In fact, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and you'll likely find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. It's the new year. Resolve to get your ED treated and change your life. Call us at Heartland Men's Health. Your initial visit is only $99. It includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
There's nothing like the sound of Royals baseball. When the boys in blue take the field, loyal fans tune in, turn it up, and stay connected. And where do Kansas City's most passionate sports fans gather? Right here on 96.5 The Fan. Sports fans are loyal fans. They support the teams they love and the businesses that support their team. If you're ready to grow your business and connect with a dedicated, engaged audience, call 816-522-0444 or email greg.bergen@odyssey.com. That's greg.bergen@odyssey.com.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-894-7722. That's 800-894-7722. Again, 800-894-7722.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
From the Fab 5 to the Fab 1, folks. Trent McDuffie, Jalen Watson, Brian Cook, Josh Williams, Nazeeh Johnson. All 5 in the same class. 1 remains. Josh Williams signs with the Tennessee Titans. 2 years, $10 million, which feels like about, I don't know.
Total or annual?
10 million total.
Okay, I was like, yo, all right.
Regardless, that's still
Still
about
an overpay.
$7 million total, more than I think the Chiefs would have been willing to give him.
Are we sure it's a Fab Five if it includes Josh Williams and Najee Johnson?
That's what they called
respect.
themselves. That's what they called themselves. That's all.
Oh.
I wasn't prefacing that. That's what they were referred to as, because they were the 5 DBs that came in at the same time.
Well, you learn something new every day.
That's what they referred to themselves as. It was the Fab Five, and 4 of them gone in a week. Like the drop of a hat. 4 of the 5 said, "We'll see you elsewhere." Now, 2 of the 4 decided to go to the same place with the Rams, but my goodness, the Tennessee Titans active.
So Najee Johnson's seen his 4 friends all get paid today. Today.
Today.
Can you throw me something here, guys? Like he's guys, guys. It's,
oh man,
oof.
yeah. I mean, but what about the Titans, man? What a day for the Tennessee Titans and Mike Borgonzi, their general manager, former Kansas City Chiefs assistant general manager. Josh Williams, Trubisky, Wan'Dale Robinson, they gave a huge deal to. John Franklin Myers, they gave a huge deal to. They traded for Jermaine Johnson last week. Mm-hmm. They signed Alontae Taylor, Cordell Flott, Austin Schlottman, Daniel Bellinger, Cordell Volson, all today.
Yeah.
Yo!
I mean, a lot of these are like, if bad team A lets them go, why would bad team B sign them? And the bad teams that, a la the Raiders today, spend a lot in free agency, do a whole bunch of nothing. I will say I do like the Franklin Myers signing. I think that's he came in around 20 a year, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
That is a deal that if Veach had taken a different stance on team building and said he wanted to invest in the interior of that defensive line or get a guy that could be versatile, I would have been listening on bringing a guy like that to Kansas City. I like that guy.
913-586-7965. We've procrastinated it long enough. Let's talk about the NFL draft now, because free agency is one thing. What about the implications of free agency? What does it mean for the Chiefs at picks number 9 and 29? What needs did they fill today? What needs do they still have? And how does what other teams ahead of them in the draft affect what may or may not be available to them when they get to that 9th overall selection? That's next. Logan Weber, Nathan Williams, After Hours here on your home for Kansas City Sports, 96.5, The Fan.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by AB May. Trust AB May to keep your home warm. For 0% interest for 72 months on select heating and cooling systems, call 913-732-9993 today. This is your home for Kansas City Sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Hey, March Matchups fans. BetMGM is offering a legendary experience for you and 3 of your friends in Vegas. Climb the BetMGM Court of Legends leaderboard for a chance to win the trip of a lifetime to Las Vegas to see Haley and Hannah Cavender face off at the Bellagio. Just sign into your BetMGM account, opt into the promotion, then start placing sports bets of at least $10 to climb the leaderboard. 25 winners will take home grand prize packages that include 4 tickets to the Court of Legends event featuring the Cavender twins, withdrawable funds for travel, a 3-night stay at the MGM Grand, and MGM Resorts credit. Make this March one to remember. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSets remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Missouri only. New and existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Withdrawable bonus dollars for flight money. Please gamble responsibly.
Hi, I'm Carter. And I'm Charlie. We'd like to share a quick story about a homeowner named Jack.
Jack had a home he needed to sell fast.
And Jack thought he had it all figured out.
So Jack talked to multiple cash buyers.
Jack chose the highest offer.
But the day before closing, guess what? The buyer backed out,
leaving Jack with the moving truck all packed in the driveway and not sure what to do.
Jack learned the hard way that the highest offer isn't always the right offer.
Jack got suckered.
Make sure you aren't hung out to dry.
Call our dad at Rex Buys KC.
Our dad is local. He knows Kansas City, and he actually closes deals.
No repairs, no fees, no showings, no surprises.
Just a fair cash offer and a smooth process.
Now, don't be like Jack.
Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 4.5% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments for 2 months. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
5.442 APR, FHA 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit, additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Hey guys, this is Rob Brennan from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the upcoming World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And I'm Scott Parks from Dane & Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch KC features the biggest names who helped make the World Cup in Kansas City possible. And there was a lot of work, plus the major storylines heading into this summer's tournament.
This is so much more. This isn't just a podcast about soccer.
No, you're right, Rob. It's a podcast about Kansas City, for Kansas City, telling the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes drop every Wednesday starting on March 4th, along with video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ social channels.
So make sure you subscribe. Download Beyond the Pitch KC with Rob Brennan and myself, Scott Parks, on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Over time, your home's exterior takes a beating. You might notice faded colors or peeling paint. You need to call my friends at CertaPro Painters, whether you're thinking about the inside or outside of your home. Their free estimates are detailed and easy to understand, and you'll get a quote right away. Ask about their spring sales event for 10% off qualifying projects through May 15th. And remember, each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in KC. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
Follow the Character Concerns podcast for more NFL draft content. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Kenneth Walker to the Chiefs. Kyrus Tonga to the Chiefs. Travis Kelce's back for an additional year. Trent McDuffie, Brian Cook, Jalen Watson, Josh Williams, all headed on to other teams in the NFL. With all that in mind, what does it mean for the Chiefs in the NFL draft? Picks 9 and 29 in the first round, pick 40 in the second round. How do the moves today that the Chiefs made, that other teams made, affect what Kansas City may do with their first 3 selections in the NFL draft? After hours here on 96.5 The Fan, Logan Weber alongside Nathan Williams. Our text line, 913-586-7965. I'll tell you what my first reaction is to what the Chiefs and specifically the Saints did today. Means one of two things. Either, one, there is no chance in hell, at least the way that these two teams thought it through, that Jeremiah Love was going to be there for them at number 9. That's the first thought I have. And number 2, if Jeremiah Love doesn't get taken in the first 7 picks, he may fall to the late teens in this draft in a hurry. And why do I say that? Well, look at the draft order right now. You're looking at a situation where obviously, no doubt, number 1 overall pick is going to be Mendoza to the Raiders. The second overall pick, the Jets, they put Breece Hall in the franchise tag. They're not going anywhere with a running back. Number 3, the Cardinals, well, they just signed Tyler Algier, and they need a lot more help that isn't the running back position. They're probably going to go with an edge. They're going to go with David Bailey or Arvell Reese if he's there still at 3, or even a Reuben Bain. Number 4, the Tennessee Titans. This seems to me like the most likely scenario for Jeremiah Love. Like if the Titans don't take him at 4, people are going to get interested fast in what Jeremiah Love's draft stock looks like. 5th pick, Giants, I don't see it. Not when you have Scadaboo, right? Is Tyron Tracy still technically a member of the Giants? Didn't they give him a new deal? I'm pretty sure.
That sounds right.
I'm pretty sure they gave him a new deal last year, like before they picked up Scadaboo. But I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, but they've been sniffing around a couple of the free agent running backs based on reports. Which
so he'll be in. Sorry, I was ahead of myself. He's entering year 3 of his rookie deal. So they still have him for 2 more years. So I can't imagine that they would go running back with the 5th overall pick. 6th pick with the Browns, no.
They need O-line too bad.
Yeah.
They drafted Judkins last year.
Exactly.
Yeah, 7. I mean, Commanders
7 with the Commanders.
That's the spot that I think he could go. As of right now, today, they probably need defensive help more. They did just add Owe. I think it's a big get for the Commanders. I could be sold on them taking Love, but I guess 8 and 9, the Saints and the Chiefs, those are the teams that went out and spent money today, big time at the position. So yeah, you're right. He could if
Titans or Commanders at 4 or 7, and then after that. If the Commanders go somewhere else at 7, the Saints at 8, they aren't going to take him. They just gave ETN 4 years. Chiefs aren't going to take him. They just gave Kenneth Walker 3 years. The Bengals at 10, they like what they have in Chase Brown. He's coming off the best year of his young career. Dolphins at 11, they like what they have in Devon Achane. 12, the Cowboys just gave Javonte Williams an extension. The Rams at 13, they already have 2 backs in that offense. 14, the Raiders. Well, this is actually the Ravens picking at 14. They're projecting a trade. No, this is the Ravens pick that's going to the Raiders, correct? As a part of the Max Crosby deal? I believe it is.
I don't think the Ravens had a second first before that.
Okay.
So, yeah, that'd probably go to the Raiders.
Well, they're obviously not because they've got Genty. 15th pick, the Buccaneers. No, because you've got Bucky Irving and you just went and got Kenneth Gainwell today. 16, the Jets. Again, Breece Hall. Maybe the Jets at 16. If they don't feel like they can get a long-term extension for Breece Hall and they don't want to just keep putting him on the franchise tag repeatedly, fine. You get great value at 16 for a potential heir apparent.
I think that could be a situation where if he's there at 16, the Jets would consider trading Breece Hall then at that point and picking him. I'm still not so, I don't love it.
17, Detroit. No. Not with Jahmyr Gibbs. No. You traded Montgomery because you're trying to get away from that 2 running back look. The Minnesota Vikings at number 18. They would pull the trigger. Because it sounds like they're going to get rid of Aaron Jones. So
sounds like they're going to bring in Kyler Murray. So okay.
Somebody in the text line says, not even close. Broncos take Love. Where are the Broncos picking?
Got to be in the final 4, right? 29 or 30.
They're picking 30th.
Yeah, Love's not dropping to 29.
No, Jeremiah Love's not going that low.
We just reached the Jets-Vikings stage of the first round, sort of that 16, 17, 18 range.
Yeah.
If he is still there, someone's leaping up from the early 20s to grab him, I would imagine. I'm just trying to rack my brain. Like, the Giants have been sniffing around a free agent running back. I cannot see a John Harbaugh-led franchise spending the 5th overall pick on a running back. Yeah, and the Titans and Commanders just have so many holes on defense to where I'm like, does it make sense? But the way the Saints and the Chiefs have operated would lend you to believe that the league thinks he is going very early in this draft. Yeah. So it's going to be a very interesting over-under for him because there are a couple of teams very high, and then afterwards it's like.
So for this example that we're discussing, if Jeremiah Love does go at 7 or 4 to the Titans or the Commanders in the first 7 picks of this draft, what does it mean for the Chiefs at number 9? And I think it means a variety of things. It obviously means, in my view, running back is off the board. And I think that that's the consensus from Chiefs fans as well. I think if Jeremiah Love is there at number 9, you still don't take him. At that point, try to find a trade partner. That's my opinion. If you can trade back into the early teens, anywhere between 11 and 14, potentially, maybe grab a second-round pick or, even an additional first somewhere, I'm all for that. But what does it mean it takes away running back, I think, is what this means. I think it likely takes defensive tackle off the board as well.
Agreed.
You're not going to be forced to maybe reach for a Peter Woods. As much talent as I think Peter Woods has, I don't think he's worth the 9th overall pick in this draft, which takes me right back to the possibility of trading back. It's got to be edge. If one of those three is there, Bain, Reese, or Bailey, not Reese. He doesn't fit the scheme. Safety, if Caleb Downs is still sitting there at number 9, or probably wide receiver. And I know that there's already people today, and I've seen his name thrown around a couple of times, one's name specifically, surrounding the cornerback position. You trade McDuffie, Watson signs elsewhere. You're now pretty bare in the cornerback room outside of Noel Williams, Christian Fulton, and if you want to call Chris Roland Wallace a cornerback, obviously you need more cornerback help. The best corner in this draft is Mansour Delane from LSU. Love him as a player. I don't love his fit. Okay? Why I say that, the Chiefs last season ran man coverage less than 20% of the time. Okay? Mansour Delane's, his claim, right? His calling card is being a phenomenal man coverage corner. Chiefs don't run a lot of man. So bringing in a guy who is primarily known for one-on-one coverage into a, hey, cover this area of the field, I'm not entirely sure how seamless that fit's going to be. Now, I mean, in fairness, this Chiefs defensive coaching staff has got the pedigree to teach a guy, no question about it. I like the kid from Tennessee too, but the fact that he didn't play last year because of the ACL tear scares me a little bit, especially with the 9th overall pick. You're going to entertain the idea of taking a guy who spent the entire previous season injured. I think at number 9, your best options are if Ruben Bain somehow falls to you at 9, Caleb Downs if he falls to you at 9, and then possibly Carnell Tate or Mekhi Lemon.
So this microphone in here is like, I can't even get it to stand still. I don't know if you're seeing what's going on. Thank goodness I'm not on the stream. I think it's down to edge, wide receiver, and Caleb Downs for the Chiefs. For me, it started this way. It still is this way. It's edge or nothing. Pass rushing is just too expensive, and the Chiefs have an opportunity to get it for cheap. We're going to spend all offseason talking about this. We've already spent months talking about this. Heck, we were talking about this during the season when it was like, how high can the Chiefs go? How much can they tank? And now they have 9 draft picks. They have an extra third next season. Look, if Bain or Bailey is even on the board at 6 or 7, I'm pro trading up to get them. The Browns, everyone knows they are in the market for an offensive tackle at that spot. The Commanders, if it is Jeremiah Love, they'd be willing to trade with the Chiefs if he's still on the board because the Saints aren't taking him. They paid ETN. So I think you could strike a trade feasibly with one of those two teams, move up and get him. But I am anti-cornerback at 9. I just think, A, you're right about the fit with Delane and the injury to McCoy. If cornerback was such a big need, and it is, cornerback is a big need, I would much rather have paid Jalen Watson $17 million a year than use a 9th overall pick on it. And knowing what we have, Jalen Watson is one of the better man coverage guys in the league and knows the Chiefs scheme. Why not pay him middle-of-the-road cornerback money instead of using the 9th overall pick, the one time you're going to get drafted this high in Mahomes' career on a cornerback?
Yeah.
I'm out on that position at number 9.
I'm with you. I mean, somebody in the text line says, is 9 picks not enough for you already? We know how much money this Chiefs team is paying to guys like Patrick Mahomes and Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith and George Karlaftis and Chris Jones. And, you know, the more guys you can have on a rookie deal, the better, in my opinion. I think that sets you up the best for your future. Now, it may lead to guys down the road leaving. Somebody said, why are you so into short arm man with Bain? He's not it. I'm not into Ruben Bain as a player. I think he's the 3rd best edge rusher in this draft class behind David Bailey and Arvell Reese. you're not going to get either of those two guys. They are going to be gone well before that. Ruben Bain is your next best option. Edge rusher is your biggest position of need right now. Sometimes you have to take the best player available at your biggest need position. If that happens to be Ruben Bain at 9 overall, I'm okay with that. And I know everybody's got, he's got short arms. I really don't care. I really don't. Josh Simmons had short arms, and he was injury prone. He played pretty damn well this year. I don't buy into the short arm BS. I really don't. And the fact that it's so much stuff, so much controversy out of the combine this year, where people are like, Carnell Tate ran a 4.5, and there's other people that are telling Adam Schefter he ran a 4.39. There's people that say, at the combine, Ruben Bain had 30.5-inch arms. And then there's people, NFL draft executives, that are like, we had him at 32. So nobody seems to know anything. I'm not going to take into account, he might have short arms. The viciousness with which he plays the defensive end position, plays the run pretty well, gets to the quarterback. He was outstanding during that college football playoff run. Somebody else, that's a great point. You know who else had short arms when they were coming out of the draft and why they fell? Guys like TJ Watt. Guys like Aaron Donald. That was his big thing, right? He had short arms. That's why Creed Humphrey fell to the Chiefs in the second round, because he had short arms. I'm cool. I would be okay with Ruben Bain at 9. I'd prefer Caleb Downs, but I'm okay with Ruben
Bain's arm, yeah, absolutely. If Bain's arms are half a foot shorter than they should be, like everyone acts like they are, and he looks like that on tape, he looks like that in the college football playoff, he is doing something at the position that transcends arm length, folks. Like, it is not such a big gap that tackles at college, the college level, have 28-inch arms, and in the NFL they have 34-inch arms. Like, it's just not that big of a like, arm length does matter. We saw what happened to Will Campbell. Like, I'm not trying to overreact on the other side of this too, but like, it is not that big of a deal. The guy's a good football player, and the Chiefs have a desperate need at edge, and more than anything, you don't have the opportunity to get this talent at this position for this cheap, and they won't have this opportunity again until Mahomes retires.
Correct. And again, if the Chiefs are somehow at pick 9, now this is never going to happen in any universe or timeline that exists. If the Chiefs are sitting at number 9 and somehow David Bailey and Ruben Bain are both on the board, you take David Bailey 6 days a week and twice on Sunday.
I love Bailey.
Without question, you take him every day of the week. David Bailey's not going to be there. He's the best edge rusher in this draft, in my opinion. Sometimes, and I'm with you 100%, it's your biggest position of need. Sometimes you have to take the best player available at that position. If that happens to be Ruben Bain, so be it. However, I also believe Ruben Bain probably won't be there at number 9 for the Chiefs to pick anyway. More questions in the text line. Somebody's asking me about my thought process on the biggest need or biggest priority for the Chiefs, considering what happened in free agency today. We'll break it down coming up next. Stick around with us here on After Hours. Logan Weber, Nathan Williams, 96.5, The Fan.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by AB May. Trust AB May to keep your home warm. For 0% interest for 72 months on select heating and cooling systems, call 913-732-9993 today. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Hey, it's Rob Britton from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And Rob, I'm Scott Parks from Dan & Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch KC will feature the biggest names who made the World Cup in Kansas City possible, plus the biggest storylines heading into this summer's tournament. This is not a podcast about soccer. Don't get us wrong. This is a podcast about Kansas City. This is a podcast for Kansas City. And this is a podcast that'll tell the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes will be released every Wednesday starting on March 4th, as well as video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ's social channels.
Subscribe and download to Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series with myself, Rob Bretton, on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call Heartland Men's Health today, because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you, it can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at Heartland Men's Health will give you back your sex life, because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So, make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. That's heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Mark?
I've been doing home remodeling for 30 plus years, but the economy crashed. I wound up losing my home, losing my job, and on top of that, owing the IRS a ton of money. I owed the IRS $114,000. It really, truly was the worst part of my life.
Then Mark found tax relief advocates.
On news radio, I heard about TRA, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? So I picked up the phone and I called them. When it was all said and done, TRA settled my $114,000 debt for $100, and I'm telling you, I was ecstatic. Could not believe it. Would recommend TRA to anyone.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Mark did and call TRA for a consultation.
But TRA did. They gave me a second chance, and I'm forever grateful.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-491-9914. 800-491-9914. That's 800-491-9914.
You already listen to 96.5 The Fan, but are you following us? Our Instagram is loaded with show clips, breaking news, mock drafts, and content you can't get on the air, like Thy Royal Decree and Chiefs Take Tuesday. Go to Instagram, search for The Fan 965, and hit that follow button. If you don't do this immediately, Dusty has threatened to do a photo shoot in a bathing suit. Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Somebody in the text line before we went to break, an 816 asked the question, said, Logan, I'm just curious what your thought process is. How are we saying edge is the top priority when we just lost our secondary? Not meant to be an insulting question, just curious. I want effing Downs, this person says. And hey, I'm with you. If Caleb Downs is there at 9, you take him. I believe he's the best player in this draft. If I had to put money on one player in this class that I thought could wear a gold jacket and have a bust in Canton, it would be Caleb Downs. But when I say that edge is the biggest need on this Chiefs team, I say that because I'm not nervous at all about how Brett Veach in this Chiefs team is going to handle the secondary. None at all. History tells us one thing. They've done pretty well in that department. Lots of guys have come and gone from that Steve Spagnuolo and Merritt secondary, and they really haven't missed much of a beat. Okay? They traded away Marcus Peters. They let Kendall Fuller walk. They let Sharkandrick West walk. They traded L'Jarius Sneed. They haven't missed a beat with it. I personally think a lot. I think really highly of Noah Williams and his possibilities in this defense. He's got great size, limited sample size from last year, I know, but he did really good things when he was out there on the field. You know, Christian Fulton missed a ton of time because of the injury, but when he came back and played, he was all right. He was a decent number 2 corner. I have no doubt in my mind that the Chiefs will go out and address the cornerback position, possibly at pick 29. Maybe in the middle rounds. they've had a ton of success drafting in those middle rounds. And again, somebody in the text line brings this up. The reason why I believe that the edge is a bigger priority right now, 913 says the secondary won't matter if we're not getting any pressure. A lot of people this past season dogging on Trent McDuffie's play, saying he wasn't up to his normal standard, saying Jalen Watson wasn't up to his normal standard. Everybody pointing out that freaking Cowboys game on Thanksgiving and how bad the secondary was. Please go back and watch that football game. Go back and watch that game. Watch the number of deep passes 20, 30 yards downfield. Watch the penalties that happened deep down the field that people are putting on McDuffie and Jalen Watson in that football game, and count the number of seconds that Dak Prescott sat in the backfield, in the pocket, waiting for something to develop. This Chiefs team didn't generate a lot of sacks because of a great pass rush this year. They generated sacks because they had great coverage at times this year. The secondary got picked on because they were in coverage for 5, 6, 7+ seconds, seemingly every time the opponent dropped back to pass. This secondary played well in spite of how bad this pass rush was. That cannot continue to happen. Your secondary can be a little bit worse if your defensive line gets incrementally better. That's what I'm advocating for.
The response to that Thanksgiving game by the text line, as Bobby Witt Jr. doubles off the wall in left center field, by the way. Sorry, I was distracted.
Oh, no. Shout out to the World Baseball Classic. Big one tonight against Mexico.
Yeah, Judge and Anthony have gone deep, so USA's out to a 5-0 lead. The conclusion that was the secondary's fault, it is dumbfounding to me. Like, we're mad at Trent McDuffie for not covering CeeDee Lamb for 8 seconds. Like, is that really what we're doing? 3 guys, like you mentioned earlier, out of that secondary that got cooked, and the text line was ready to ship off for nothing, got combined over $200 million today from the league. Like, I'll just take it further as well. Like, I've seen the Chiefs have great secondaries, great players in the secondary in my lifetime, and Barry and Peters and Flowers and Carr, and I know there's Lewis and all these guys before I came along too. That doesn't translate to a vaunted defense. This secondary last year was a good secondary. They were a fine average to below average defense, but in the year where they led the league in sacks, they were defenses that carried you to a Super Bowl. This is like 2-3 seasons ago. Like, it's not that long ago. Go through the Super Bowl champions, the Super Bowl games themselves over the last 15 years. I did this exercise recently, and look at a game in which the secondary was not perhaps the reason that the team won, or at least a top reason why they won. The only game I could think of is the Philly like 42-38 Nick Foles game. The rest of them, like, the team that rushes the passer better wins the game. Like, and that's the same throughout we saw it this year, like when Drake May couldn't do anything, and somehow the Patriots still held the other team to like less. But like, we see how these guys react when they're rushed in January. Like, you got to have clutch quarterback play, but right up there is the ability to rush the passer. It's so important.
It's an interesting relationship that a defensive line and a secondary has. And I don't know if there's another one like it in sports, other than maybe like a line of defensemen and a goalie in soccer, where a line of defensemen in soccer can make a goalie look exceptional because of the amount of pressure they can take off, and vice versa. If a goalie is exceptional, it makes a line of defensemen look better. That's the relationship that a defensive line and a secondary can have with one another. The Chiefs' defensive line was so bad last year that they made the secondary look bad. Think about that for a moment. Like, the Chiefs' defensive line has been so good in previous years that it made the secondary look good, right? It's not very often that you see one unit so bad that it makes a really good unit also look bad in the eyes of some people. Now, there are those of us, you and I included, Nathan, that understood that the reason why the Chiefs' secondary showed some openings this past year, a lot of it was due to just how much they had to undertake to keep teams at bay. The amount of time they had to sit in coverage for 5 to 6, 7, 8 seconds at a time, it was just an inevitability that somebody was going to pop open.
Yeah, Pat Surtain's not covering CeeDee Lamb for 7 seconds.
Yeah, it's just not going to happen.
Prime Darrelle Revis isn't doing that either. Like, it's just like what we're asking these guys to do this last season was insane. And the league shows us that they agree with the money these guys were given today.
No question about it. You know, again, it's a back and forth.
No one scooped up Mike Dana, Charles Omenihu, Derek Nottie. None of those guys today got paid.
Those guys are all still free agents.
But Brian Cook got a hefty contract. Jalen Watson got a hefty contract. That secondary was doing their job last year.
Somebody says to trade up and get David Bailey. You'd have to give up a haul to trade up high enough to get David Bailey.
Yeah, I don't think he's making it out of the top 5.
He may not make it out of the top 3.
Yeah, I'd probably lean he's going to the Cardinals at 3. I know Reese is being mocked to the Jets a lot at 2.
Yeah.
The smoke is around Reese there, and then Bailey immediately after. Yeah, you'd have to give up a first-round pick. Probably, like, I don't know if 9 and 29 gets you up to 3.
I don't think so. It's probably 9 and 29, and then probably a day 2.
Oh, yeah.
Probably a third. Maybe that third that you got from the Rams last week.
So you're trading 9 and Trent McDuffie for David Bailey.
Yeah, you're trading 3 top 100 selections, including 2 in the top 30 to get David Bailey.
That's
and while I
rich.
think David Bailey can be an outstanding football player, you're risking the possibility of 3 starters on your team with rookie contracts for the possibility surrounding 1. Do I think David Bailey can be an all-pro edge rusher? I do. Wholeheartedly, I believe that, yes. But is it worth trading out potentially 3 guys that could be bona fide cornerstone starters for your football team? I don't. I don't like the idea of the Chiefs trading up, and I don't like the idea of them trading back. It's the possibilities that are there, right? And then you look at somebody in the text line asked me, do you take Caleb Downs or Reuben Bain if they're both sitting there at number 9? I would take Caleb Downs. But I don't think that that's a possibility. I think if Reuben Bain is still on the board at number 9 when the Chiefs are picking, it's because somebody ahead of them took Caleb Downs. I think that's the only way that happens. I think it's more likely that they're both gone by the time the Chiefs pick at 9 than both of them are still there at 9.
I agree. As far as where I'm at right now is 2 of those top 3 picks, 2 of your top 40 picks have to be on the D line. That's even if the Chiefs add another veteran at edge, which I expect them to do at some point between now and the draft. So, like, maybe that leaves you with like a Peter Woods and a Zion Young, or like players of that ilk, and like I can hear you out. My problem with taking someone other than an edge at 9 is I'm going to be screaming for D-line for the next few picks, and then maybe I'm unhappy with what they get at receiver in the draft or like something else. So I mean, I guess we will have this much more narrowed down after a few more days of free agency. I cannot pass up the idea of the possibility of getting that sort of talent at the edge position. I just think it's too big of an opportunity at this point.
Yeah, I'm with you. 913-586-7965 is our number. Back to the take, the best player available. Do the Chiefs take Love if he's still there at 9? No.
That's good rage bait.
No. 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 If that's the, why did you sign Kenneth Walker? There's people out here concerned that the Chiefs won't use a quality running back. Now there might be 2. What? No. Unless you think you can trade one of them.
This text line's been so hot about paying one running back. Can you imagine their reaction if they picked Love at 9? I mean, my reaction, I think everyone here's reaction at the station would be like someone might quit their job. It'd be so frustrating. Like that would be an all-time day on this text line.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
That would be a day that requires a lot of patience from phenomenal producers like yourself, Nathan. A lot of time spent with a finger hovering over that big red button that says dump on it.
That too.
Somebody might be willing to just absolutely crash out on the air.
Oh, yeah. Mario and KC would go ballistic. It'd be great.
Oh, it may not even be a caller. Might be one of us.
That's true.
Might be one of us in front of a microphone that it's like, what in the are they doing? One of those sorts of days. Maybe not that word, but
I would be like, I would be surprised to the level of like questioning my fandom if they did that. And I'm not like I'm not the guy that'd be like, oh, I'm not a Chiefs fan anymore. But like I would be like, what am I doing following this organization if they picked Love at 9 after giving out the largest free agent contract to a running back ever? I would lose my mind.
I'm in the same boat. Unless you had a serious trade partner, unless you just took best player available because you think you can get a solid return out of it. And that's what I mean by like,
or if he fell to 40 or something. Like
if the guy is still there at 9, somebody might be willing to throw out the arm and leg to trade up and get him. Why wouldn't they take Love at number 9 if he's there? He's generational talent. No, he isn't. And what's wrong with 2 good running backs? Walker was just the part of the running game. He wasn't full. Yeah, I know. He was a running back by committee in Seattle. He's not that's not what the plan for him is in Kansas City. And you're paying him almost $15 million a year. You want running back by committee. I'm saying running back by committee in that Kenneth Walker gets 16 to 18 carries a game and the backup running back gets like 6. Okay, you want to draft a guy with the 9th overall pick for the possibility of him getting 6 carries a game? Or if he is that good, if he's that generational, then you're paying your backup running back $15 million a year potentially for 6 carries a game? No thanks. I want no part. There are bigger needs. Running back is definitely not among them anymore.
It would be Rob Brenton whose head would explode in that situation.
Dude, Rob would freak out. Rob would call off that week. Rob would need a minute. That man would have an emergency vacation because he would probably have an aneurysm. Like something in his brain would collapse on itself. There would need to be a control. He might need to be sedated.
Didn't the Bucs sign Kenneth Gainwell for like 2 years and like $40,000 or something earlier today?
$14 million, yeah, 7 a year.
Some minuscule amount. Rob is hot at the crib tonight that the Chiefs didn't sign that contract. He is upset.
Beside himself. I know Jordan Foote's another guy that he mentioned Kenneth Gainwell to me a few separate times as like somebody that he really liked for the Chiefs, but I asked for Kenneth Walker and lo and behold, I got Kenneth Walker. Hell yeah. 913-586-7965 is our number. More coming up. We may talk a little bit about the World Baseball Classic as well as some of the other major free agent deals that went down in the NFL today. Stick around for that. Logan Weber, Nathan Williams, you're listening to After Hours on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by AB May. Trust AB May to keep your home warm. For 0% interest for 72 months on select heating and cooling systems. Call 913-732-9993 today. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
We've all been there. You wake up and your knees give you that not today feeling, and it's frustrating and exhausting. Honestly, it's unfair. Raise your hand if you're excited about feeling older faster than you should. Yeah, I didn't think so. Ongoing pain makes you feel way older than you actually are. QC Kinetics patients are getting relief, feeling younger, and jumping back into life at full speed without surgery. The medical professionals at QC Kinetics use the latest regenerative treatments backed by real science. They take the tiny, powerful healing tools already inside your body and concentrate them right where you need relief. The sooner you start, the sooner inflammation eases and joint damage slows down, because no one signs up for feeling older faster. Find out if you're a candidate. Your consultation's free. Call 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone. 816-412-6299.
As the seasons change, it's time to prep your HVAC system with a $49 seasonal tune-up from Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. A tune-up can help save money on your energy bill and help prevent expensive breakdowns. As your local home service experts, everything we do is backed by our exceptional service guarantee. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews adds up to dependable service from neighbors you trust. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions.
Hey guys, it's Rob Brennan from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the upcoming World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And I'm Scott Parks from Dane and Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch, KC features the biggest names who helped make the World Cup in Kansas City possible. And there was a lot of work, plus the major storylines heading into this summer's tournament.
This is so much more. This isn't just a podcast about soccer.
No, you're right, Rob. It's a podcast about Kansas City, for Kansas City, telling the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes drop every Wednesday starting on March 4th, along with video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ social channels.
So make sure you subscribe. Download Beyond the Pitch KC with Rob Brennan and myself, Scott Parks, on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
How do airplanes fly? What's in this box? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Learn how to store your gun securely and make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Bobby Witt Jr.'s filthy, dude. Double. Did you see that outrageous diving play at short? Like literally full extension. I'm not sure there's 3 other baseball players on planet Earth that could make that play. Despicable levels of baseball being conducted by Bobby Witt Jr. in the World Baseball Classic right now.
He is a blend of talent like none other currently playing the game, right? He is not offensively on a level of a Judge or an Ohtani, and I'm not. And then obviously, Ohtani does he pitches at a Cy Young level too. Yeah. So I'm also not comparing Bobby Witt Jr. to the all-time great that is Shohei, but just the regular position players in this league. No one else is the blend of power, contact, defense, speed. Just everything that Bobby Witt is. Yeah. He's so much. I love the World Baseball Classic at this time of the year. The Olympics would be great if they get MLB players back, but this gets me so riled up for opening day.
Bobby Witt Jr. is the best. He is the most tuned. He is the best 5-tool player in baseball. Okay, I'm with you. You can't compare him to Aaron Judge because Judge is a great fielder. He's great at the plate. His base running lacks that 5-tool edge, but he is so far and ahead in terms of his power that it sort of makes it a non-starter in comparing the two. Shohei Ohtani, he's got 7 or 8 tools in his bag. One of them isn't fielding, so therefore he doesn't fall under the 5-tool category.
Right, out of the regular 5 tools, he doesn't apply, but he's got others.
He hits for contact. He hits for crazy power. He's got great base running ability, great base stealing ability, crazy arm strength. And, when he's healthy and at his best, he's a top 5 pitcher in baseball. But in terms of the 5-tool capabilities that we hear about all the time, Bobby Witt Jr. is the quintessential example of that in Major League Baseball today. There's a reason why folks all around the baseball world this year finally giving that man his just due, right? Buster Olney. I don't know if there's a voice in baseball today that I take at their word better than Buster Olney. Just a guy I've watched my entire life that has no personal agenda whatsoever. This dude is purely about ball. He says that man's the 3rd best player in baseball.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's not close.
And I completely agree. Best shortstop in the league. And love that on a world stage like this, Bobby Witt Jr. has a chance to showcase it to more than just those of us in Kansas City who have known this for years even folks in the, that are in the American League Central that have known this for years about how talented Bobby Witt Jr. is. Now the folks of New York and Los Angeles and San Diego and Miami are having the opportunity to see just how damn good Bobby Witt Jr. is, and the fact that we get to enjoy him as a member of the Kansas City Royals. 913-586-7965. Not a lot of college basketball to be discussed tonight, but I want to close out the show with one of the most preposterous decisions I've ever seen get handed down by a conference. The Big 12 has announced who their Conference Player of the Year is, and I cannot fathom this decision to save my own life. They gave the Conference Player of the Year to a man who might be the 5th best player on his own team. Somebody's got to explain this, because it's sketchy. Logan Weber alongside Nathan Williams, After Hours, here on a Monday night. 96.5, The Fan.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by AB May. Trust AB May to keep your home warm. For 0% interest for 72 months on select heating and cooling systems, call 913-732-9993 today. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most. That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber. Connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
I hope you're sitting down. The ACA Marketplace has announced significant increases on monthly premiums with deductibles over $10,000. You can enroll with Matt B. and KC at BBS Insurance's Freedom of Choice plan now. You don't have to wait. Their plan lets you use any doctor, has 0 outpatient deductibles, and it's 30 to 60% lower costs than most Obamacare plans. Also, there's no income disclosure required, so no potential tax penalties. If you are a small business owner or pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive. Call Matt B. and KC for an instant quote over the phone at 816-205-4664. That's 816-205-4664. Or go to bbsinsurance.net. That's bbsinsurance.net. They will customize a plan chosen and managed by you, not the government.
Hey, it's almost Andy Reid. Who knew dressing up for a Halloween ball would change my life forever? Now I get to celebrate with the best fans and everything Kansas City. Oh, yeah! My journey also led me to Renner Garage Door, Casey's go-to team for garage door repair, replacement, and service since 1956. Renner features an MVP lineup from Deldon, Amar, and Liftmaster.
R-E-N-N-E-R, R-E-N-N-E-R.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
Want consistent color for every job? Milo's Pro Rewards members get a 20% paint discount on future purchases after paint annual qualifying spend reaches $3,000. Plus, order eligible in-stock paint and paint supplies by 2 p.m. for free same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Improving is easy at Lowe's. Excludes spray paint and mist tints. More exclusions, terms, and conditions apply. Subject to change. Details at lowes.com/terms. Same-day delivery valid in select zip codes. Subject to driver availability. Details at lowes.com/same-day delivery.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
U.S. still leading Mexico 5-0. Bottom of the fifth inning now. Have an outing, Paul Skeens. Sheesh. 4 innings of work, 7 strikeouts. He gave up just 1 hit, 1 walk. Roman Anthony, 3-run bomb. Aaron Judge, 2-run bomb. Right now, Alex Bregman, Cal Raleigh, Byron Buxton, and this Terang kid playing second base. Only guys on this USA team without a hit. I need somebody to investigate the Big 12 conference for me. Okay? Because they announced earlier today, like right before our show started, who the Big 12 Player of the Year would be. And I just saw it. It's Jaden Bradley out of Arizona. Good year for Jaden Bradley.
Guy's a good player.
Yeah, solid, man. 13 points a game. Right around 13.5. 3.5 rebounds and just over 4.5 assists. Solid. Good numbers. Big 12 Player of the Year numbers? My ass. Jaden Bradley, this is on his own team, okay? Jaden Bradley this year for Arizona, he was the 3rd leading scorer on his own team. Braden Burries averaged 16 a game. Koa Pete averaged 13.8 a game. He's the 6th leading rebounder on his own team. Tobe Awaka averaged 9.5 rebounds. Crevasse averaged over 8 a game. Koa Pete over 5 a game. Burries averaged 5 rebounds a game. He led his team in assists. Good for him. Tied for the team lead in steals at 1.6 a game alongside Burries. How in the world is that 3rd best player maybe on his own team? And he's the Big 12 Player of the Year? Let's look at the conference stats, shall we? 13.4 points per game. He's the 30th leading scorer in the Big 12. 3.5 rebounds a game. That's the 61st leading rebounder in the Big 12. 4.6 assists. That's his best stat. He was 11th in the league in assists. I know that Arizona's the best team in the Big 12. I understand the appeal of giving it to a player on the best team. Typically, it would be giving it to the best player on the best team. Therefore, Braden Burries would be the conference player of the year.
I don't know how it's not Burries. If it's a Wildcat, I don't know how it's not Burries.
If it's a match of statistics, can we talk about Christian Anderson at Texas Tech, who averaged 19 points a game this season, which was 5th best in the Big 12. He averaged just over 3.5 rebounds a game, slightly more than you saw from Jaden Bradley. And he led the Big 12 in assists at 7.8 a game. Why not Christian Anderson? Why not A.J. DeBansa, who led the league in scoring? Why not J.T. Toppin, who was balling before the injury? Mm-hmm. Even a Cameron Carr from Baylor. I get it. Give it to a player on the best team, but my God, folks, that's outrageous. Ass. Thank you. For my producer, Nathan Williams, doing a great job, as he always does. I'm Logan Weber. Thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks for getting involved in the text line. Big one for Chiefs Kingdom. We'll see how the rest of free agency plays out. No after hours tomorrow. We got Case